Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Max's Man Cave, episode 73. And we have got so much news for you guys to talk about. I don't even know if we'll be able to fit it in within this 2-hour span of time. So we're just going to get right into it. The first thing I want to mention, or the first thing I want to address, is today is Palm Sunday. And I would be remiss in my duties as a Christian without mentioning it, at least. I know we have a lot of viewers that are Christian. I know we have a lot of panelists that are Christian. But I just wanted to read this real quick. Palm Sunday marks the beginning of Holy Week, or the week leading up to Easter Sunday. Most of us know the importance of Easter as one of the most foundational days of our faith, when Christ victoriously rose from the grave, defeating sin and death. But the significance of Palm Sunday holds something else, lots of other things with it. In Scripture, we see that in John, they say they took the palm branches and went out to meet him, shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King of Israel." And we actually see this in all four accounts, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John of the Gospels, is the people meeting him with palm branches as he is riding in on a donkey, them shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." So I will say Christ is King. He is risen, and I hope everyone enjoys their Palm Sunday and their Easter Sunday if you guys don't see us next week. So hail and amen. We have the Wicked Plumber, who has become a member. Thank you, Wicked Plumber. I think this was from earlier this morning for the paint stream that we did, the Warhammer stream. But good to see you. And we also have Cajun Corey for 20 months. My dude, that's almost 2 years. It's crazy. Thank you so much for the flashbacks. Thank you so much for the 20 months. He says, "Yo, Max, what's up?" We got Jamin D in the house, and also the Geeky Puppet Show. What's going on, everyone?
Hey,
thanks for being
great
here.
guys.
Hell yeah. So, gentlemen, we have some breaking news. So I was just alerted of this literally 5 minutes before we went live. So we were a little bit late going live, but breaking meaning within the last 24 hours. So essentially, Cartoonist Kayfabe is nuked from orbit. Is that how you would say it, Drew? Is that what you were those the words that you used?
When you try looking up their channel, it no longer exists. It has ceased to be. It is the dead bird from Monty Python. Yeah, they're gone. The channel is completely gone. You cannot find it, cannot look it up. They do have an Instagram page, however you type it in, but there's nothing there. All their posts are gone. It is, yeah.
Now, most people are probably saying, well, what the heck? I see, all these videos referencing Cartoonist Kayfabe, but not the actual channel itself. What must have happened to it? Because the channel had, over 1,000 videos or something, over 90K subscribers.
Yeah, almost 100,000 subscribers. They were getting close to that.
Yeah. So, yes, there is a video by John Delarose, JDA, but 18 hours ago, we also saw that EVS did a stream concerning this. He talked about this Instagram post that we're going to soon reference here in the Cartoonist Kayfabe lore. But even before him, it looked like Acapad. I've never heard of this YouTuber before, but Acapad in 22 hours ago did a video saying Ed Piskor hits up a teenager allegedly. So we think that this could potentially be breaking news in terms of Ed Piskor speaking with a minor allegedly inappropriately, which is why DMs were released, and then having them take the channel down. Now, I think, Aaron, was it you that was saying that in that state, the age of consent is 17?
I believe in Pennsylvania, which I think this is where this took place. I believe the age of consent is 17.
Yep. Hey, look at who we have here.
We got a special guest on a Sunday night.
What are you doing here?
I had to smack the wife in the mouth and say, "Hey, I got something I got to do." So,
okay.
Jeez.
I'm happy Kyle is here because I've waited so long to say this, but hey, Daddy.
I mean, he is our big
He's the
bad
dad.
booty
He's
daddy.
the only one that's the dad out of us. So you know, I mean, there.
He's the only father. Yeah,
That is true.
Yeah.
I waited to
Kyle.
just say live. Shut up, Kyle.
Everyone wants to say that. Everyone wants to tell.
How
him
does
that.
it feel? It feels good to get off your chest, right?
Oh man, it does feel good. It's been such a good week, and this is just like cherry on top.
Cherry on
Yeah.
top. I love it. That's why I'm here.
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, Drew and Kyle and I didn't get to do our Friday evening video. So if you guys weren't able to see us on Friday, I had to do some family stuff. I had to get some family stuff situated, and I was alerted to an unfortunate news, relating to some family and also job stuff. So I just said, you know what, let's take the evening off. But it is good to see Kyle tonight. So what brings you here tonight, brother? Did you want to talk about Ed Piscor? Did you want to talk about crowdfunding? What was it that brought you to the stream tonight?
No, I felt like I had to support you, my man. So I wanted to be here for you, and we didn't do Friday, so I thought I'd show up for a little bit here tonight. So,
Dude,
I'm
well,
just
thank you
here
so
for
much.
any and everything. I'm just here for it all.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. That really means a lot. Thank you. So
course.
your voice is welcome, even though we give you a hard time about Jim Lee and all that stuff. But
Hey, when you're at the top and you're the greatest, it's understandable. All the bottom feeders are just wanting to just try to take you out.
Shut up, Kyle. God damn it.
See, it feels good, right? It's cathartic.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and Drew just went to a convention, correct?
Yeah, Indiana Comic-Con was this past weekend, so
Nice.
stopped in for the day. Drew was there yesterday.
I will be
Yeah.
right back, guys. I just got a voicemail. It might be related to this, so I'm going to see if there's any. Hot
Oh yeah, please do. Breaking.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, while Aaron is getting us some juicy news, do you guys want to share a little bit about the convention, and I'll pull up a quick little picture of the three of y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
sure,
Yeah,
go
it
ahead.
was sure. It was a great time. I mean, it's a smaller Indiana Comic Con's a smaller show, but there's a lot of celebrities there. But comic book wise, I mean, Mike Barron, Pat Broderick, and Mark Bagley and Jim Starlin were like the biggest names there. And Saturday they were busy. Jim Starlin had a line that was nuts, and but it was great seeing. There he is. There's the Red Baron himself, Mike Barron. Yeah, he was signing books all day Saturday. Sold out of almost all of his copies of Bronze Star. I think he sold out of them today. And
Wow.
He told us about some upcoming projects that we could talk about a little later behind the scenes that I'm sure we can't talk about online. But he signed a bunch of books for us. Incredibly grateful. We had dinner with him. I had dinner with him Friday night and Saturday night. Kyle joined us for dinner Saturday night. Great guy, great stories. Just very humble guy, and I'll never ever forget it.
That is so cool, man. Yeah, he looks like he's super grateful, and I'm really thankful that that he's been selling out of all his books. That's fantastic. By the way, chat. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add also, if you can't tell by the angle at which this picture was taken, clearly I was the one who took the picture.
I was about to say, who? Why are they like down by your ankles? What? No.
So what's funny is that Stuart Sager, who's a professional comic book artist, a friend of ours, he took the photo. He said, "Hey, this is a very dramatic angle. I think this is the best one." And so yeah,
It makes you guys look like you're 7 feet tall, like from the NBA.
Hell yeah.
I'll take it.
But it also doesn't help that Mike Barron isn't the tallest of individuals.
He's a short guy, and
so Drew, did you get anything from the convention? Did you or Kyle get anything from the convention?
Oh, I got some goodies here. So I got a copy of Bronze Star, signed by both Pat Broderick and Mike Barron.
Beautiful. The interiors of that are just gorgeous.
Kyle, tell them about the interiors you saw for issue 2.
Oh my God. I almost came. Like it was absolutely unbelievable. When he showed his pages for issue 2, I was just like, oh my God, like These shouldn't even be real. This isn't even a real thing right now.
Oh wow. Had to change the pants.
Yes.
And come back to the convention.
Yeah.
Dude, I believe it. Those interiors for issue number 1 were gorgeous, and I hope that they release like a black and white version of that.
I
Just
think
to
they
see all
isn't
the
there a
detail.
hardcover, Drew, a black and white? I don't know if it's black and white,
Yeah,
but
there is. Yeah, there's like an oversized like artist edition they've made of Bronze Star. It's marked down in price from $99 to $75, but yeah, it's the black and white 11 by 17s because Pat draws them all
Oh
by
wow.
hand on 11 by 17s,
Yeah.
and they are beautiful. And this is another one I got right here, the Legion of Superheroes Great Darkness Saga. But why did I get that sign? Why did I have that? Because Pat Broderick worked on it, and even he was like,
Nice.
"Oh yeah, I have to work on that."
Hell yeah.
Naturally, I got this is the last one. All right, Maximum Carnage, Amazing Spider-Man, signed by Mark Bagley. There we go.
Hey, and you got it personalized.
And personalized, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet, man. Hell yeah. Well, thank you for showing those off. And I will bring up the convention probably this coming Friday when we get to talk a little bit more about it. Because I'd love to hear more about the con and what you guys were able to do and any cool news from any creators and, hanging out with those guys, grabbing drinks. It's always a fantastic time.
Cool news and
Aaron,
stories from Mike. I got
oh, dude. Yeah. I'm sure Mike Barron has like thousands of stories under his belt. Right. So, but Aaron, was good news, bad news, anything concerning our man?
Oh, he's signing it.
I'm I'm playing phone tag, so I'm like actually like being driven a little bit nuts right here because I'm like,
okay.
is it something? Is it something? Do you have a scoop?
Yeah.
I reached out to I reached out to one of my sources that generally has some good background info. So.
Okay. Where's the pooper scoopers when you need them?
I know. I think this kind of like, there's always those people on Twitter who are like, I've known this for years. And it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
If you did, why didn't you say something?
Right.
If there's a truth to it, why didn't you say something? You don't get to come in afterwards and go, I knew the whole time. Well, then you're a piece of shit. Congratulations.
Well, the pooper scoopers always will come up with the most wild accusations or rumors. And these rumors are completely unsubstantiated, have zero backing or reference or anything. And they'll make 30 of them. And if one of them comes true, they'll be like, see, guys, I told you, what did I say? And it's like, dude, out of the 30 or 50 rumors that you pooper scoop, the one that came true. So,
the worst is Mike Zero. I don't know why anybody watches that channel. That guy just lies and lies and lies. And his source is always a Reddit post that he himself put up. It's
Guys, I said I heard Tom Cruise was going to be in a Marvel movie. Therefore, I can report I heard Tom Cruise is going to be in a Marvel movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't get the problem is. It's not a lie. I said it and I heard myself say it.
It's someone told me they thought it would be cool if he was Iron Man or something. So I'm going to then say he is Iron Man in the next film. And it's like, okay, yeah. But these do not seem unsubstantiated. These claims actually have some merit. There seems to be DMs that have been released. So relating back to the cartoonist kayfabe stuff with Ed Piskor, it does seem like there were legitimate things that were DMs that were released. So from the account Sid Goblin, so this is, I believe her name is Molly. She recently posted this on one of her stories. Woke up to see a lot of randomly terrible and unwarranted things said about me in my career, so I'm just taking a break from my phone and internet for a long while. I think because of the backlash from the Me Too era stuff, people are trying to call her out, especially because Ed Piskor just recently opened a gallery. Is that correct from what my understanding is? Like an art gallery?
An art gallery. It's going to be open from supposed to be, I don't know if it still is now, but it was supposed to be from April to August this year down in Pittsburgh.
Okay. So, which makes me think, because when something like this arises, right? and you get a female who is trying to take advantage of the Me Too movement, saying, oh, I was groomed. Well, can I say groomed? We're 15 minutes into the stream? Sure, why not? You get women who will say like, oh, I was groomed, or I was abused, or like she's releasing all of these DMs and saying, oh, he's creepy, oh, he was abusing me, I was underage, blah blah. Why are these coming up now? Go ahead, Josh. You're gonna say something.
Go back down a little bit.
Mhm.
And go back down.
This guy.
Right there. I'd have to read it. I haven't read this yet, but we got a lot of likes going on between these comments. So
yeah, a lot of love going back and forth. A lot of encouragement.
Yeah.
She's not.
Bombing of love, if you will.
Well, so that's what the accusation is that he was love bombing her and her art to say, hey, I think you're amazing. Your art is so good, blah, blah. I want to work with you on a book. But it looks like she was reciprocating. I mean, she wasn't really, it doesn't seem like she was really saying, hey, stop. I don't want this to happen. Or like, lots of kissy faces, lots of hearts. Draw anything cool lately, nerdy girl? That, to me, that's unassuming. That's,
sorry, I got a little nervous, Max. I thought these were the texts that you and I had between each other. Carry on.
Oh,
what's up, nerdy girl?
Josh, don't out me like that, because then you're gonna Me Too me later in my career.
Is it too soon for us to all like get super gay on the stream? Or no, we're 15 minutes in. We're okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. And then he goes on to say, "You're so fucking good, Molly." But then her statement is, Ed Piskor is a creep. He likes little high school girls and slid into my DMs when I was 17 years old. I didn't know of him, and he found me simply by liking one of my pictures. So this is just, initially when this news broke, I was watching this last night on EVS's stream, and I texted the guys and I said, do we want to talk about this tomorrow night? And I think Kyle, you and I had kind of gone back and forth, and we were like, honestly, there's not enough info here, right? Like, let's take a step back. Maybe Ed hasn't said anything, or maybe, this girl hasn't said anything, and let's wait. But with the news of Cartoonist Kayfabe just completely nuking their YouTube channel and their Instagram account, I don't know, man, that's bad news. It's tough to say when something like this happens. I want to be incorrect. Like, this one is like, naughty girl, that's my favorite. It's like, okay. I don't know.
This does feel groomy. This does feel groomy to me. Like, just I'm reading it and it's just like, I feel like you'd be a good partner in crime. You're not a snitch, are you?
Yeah.
If we robbed some banks, you wouldn't rat me out, would you? That's groomy. I don't like that.
That's weird. Yeah.
You're dancing around. Yeah, you're dancing around the kind of the thing about like what I'm doing is wrong.
Yeah.
But you're cool with it, right?
It feels like I'm watching To Catch a Predator right now, watching those chats,
those
chats back and forth.
Yeah, it looks like he was also.
If those messages were like between two people that were of, comparable age, or even like, older, like just older in general, like even if the guy was like in his 30s and she was like in her mid to late 20s, you'd be like, all right, well, it's just, it's just that kind of flirting. But no, it's with a 17-year-old, it feels like you're like going like, oh, because he made sure to verify her age up above too. I saw that.
Yeah, she says that she was 17 turning 18, a senior in high school, and he was 40 at the time.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. So that's, first of all, super icky. And when I first heard it, I was like, gross, but is gross enough to burn a man's entire life to the ground. And I didn't know that it was, because I had just heard like vague allegations. But now that we're kind of like looking at this just at a glance, I'm going, this is rough.
Yeah. And the more you read it, the more you like hear about this, the more news that's been coming out, and especially with the channel being nuked, because I don't think it was YouTube that got rid of it. It was Ed and Jim Rugg. I think they probably talked about this, and they were probably like, listen, for PR, circumstance, or for PR situations like this, like, I think it's best that we take it down. Maybe, I don't know, man.
Well, I would also say, and look, I was the first one to come in when this first came up last night, and was like, "Hey, do we have any details? Do we know what was said?
Right.
What's the age of this girl? What's the age of consent in the state?" Not to say that it's not icky, like it's definitely icky, but is it illegal or not based on that state? I think kind of creates a different level of seriousness with this. However, I think them taking everything down is also a sign that there is more. It makes me wonder if there was a conversation between these two about like, yo, like what the hell's going on? Like, how bad is this? And he's like, yeah, fucked up, dude. And then we're going to find out there's, I don't know, maybe a 14-year-old, a 6, like we don't know.
Yeah.
And then, I'll say that we have a friend in common that made a comment that he's always kind of been known for being sleazy like this. So I think it's a matter of time before we get more details.
Oh, man. It's so, it's so tough when you hear about this stuff because the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel really was something different. I mean, they were two guys that were, artists, really well established within the industry, just talking about comics, going over through these different Marvel, DC Image books, and would talk about the different inking or the different layers or the different, paneling layouts and stuff like that. They do Wizard reviews, and it just seems so harmless, right? And so for something like this to come out, it sucks. I would never, I don't want to assume anything until all the information is out. But I do think, one, it's a little bit convenient that this stuff came out now as Ed is like, succeeding his career. But two, the fact that it is coming out and reading some of these DMs, it's creepy. It's a little off-putting, and it doesn't look good for the future. So,
well, if you feel like if you're somebody who, and maybe even at the time, like, she's 17, she's liking the attention, she feels like, oh, this artist is interested in me. And yeah, we are kind of like flirting. And even if she's fine with it at that point, what is going on?
Yeah.
What is that noise? Okay.
Someone messed with their mic. Drew, are you playing footsie with your mic?
What?
Are you trying to
get... Are you suggesting this conversation is getting me hot and bothered? Of course not.
No. I hope not.
No,
I hope it's not getting
God, I hope not. Even if all of that is true, and two things can be true. She may have liked it at the time, and then as she gets older and a little more mature, she starts to realize, oh, that was really creepy. That was really creepy what happened. And then she hears that he's got a gallery opening, and she's like, oh, geez, like he's just getting bigger and bigger. And who knows who he's after now? Who knows who he's going to be swooping on? I mean, that can all be true. I don't know if it is. I'm just saying that, everybody's so quick to come out and, because there were a lot of grifters in the Me Too movement who saw an opportunity to advance themselves by taking down people or accusing people falsely. That's always going to happen. There's always going to be false accusations. But I think that we do, it is important for us to give the benefit of the doubt, when these things come along and to assume the best. And also, when people go, oh, well, look, this girl is messed up or whatever, not necessarily this girl, but just in these situations, they're like, this girl is messed up. Well, who do you think predators prey upon? They prey upon people who have problems. So, that's not an immediate dismissal of accusations like this. So I think that everything needs to be evaluated on the basis of the evidence as it comes out. And like you said, the fact that they nuked the channel, I agree with Josh, does make me think like this is the tip of the iceberg. And maybe they're worried, maybe Ed's worried about what else is going to come out. That's just an assumption, but it usually tracks that way.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, we haven't seen everything that Bo DeMeo has been accused of yet, so we're still waiting on that. That's like
I'm just guessing that Maui Comic-Con isn't going to be so quick to have Comics Kayfabe back as a guest this year. How about that, Alika? How about that, Alika? Remember someone told you that there, maybe you could get some different guests and you threw a little tantrum. Remember? Who was that? Who was that guy?
Well, I mean, that's all the news that unfortunately I have for right now. And of course, like you guys have articulated, we don't want to assume anything until more information has come out. But I do think it's important that we at least recognize kind of what's going on and that there is something that may be happening that's in the works right now. This is super unfortunate, and you never want to see this happen, and it just feels like it continually there are events that happen like this more and more often now. But guys,
I'm not saying that like when you're a professional and you have like a young fan contact you and they like your work or whatever. Like, I'm not saying you can't compliment their work, that you can't you can't even mentor them in some ways, but you need to be aware of what's appropriate. And and this is obviously, go ahead, Josh.
Even I was going to say too, I mean that, because I was already thinking earlier and I was like, no, I'm not going to say it. But I mean, it's fine for even the creator to compliment a young person's work. And I think that should exist. I think you need people who are, I think there are a lot of talented people that don't pursue things because they don't believe in themselves. So they don't have someone else saying they believe in them. I think telling young people that are talented or have potential that you do believe them is a really good thing to imbue in the industry, but you've got to have boundaries and you've got to go about it the right way. And even when we say like, I don't know, what was the younger parties, playing this, maybe they weren't so innocent. If you're the adult, you still have to understand that you're the adult and you should know better. Like, even if they're coming at you, you should know to be like, I'm not gonna, go down this path. Let's keep this in the public,
And you can be complimentary without sounding flirty. That's a choice.
Yeah. What are you talking about, you naughty beard?
Oh no.
Oh man, I feel so uncomfortable. I've been groomed.
Oh gosh.
Last time I checked, you guys weren't asking for photos of him in a schoolgirl uniform, which I think Ed was asking, or Ed was seeing.
What? Is that in there? Because I just sent my schoolgirl photos to Josh and Max voluntarily. They didn't ask.
Well, I was gonna say, Josh always tells.
Well, maybe if you'd shut up once in a while, Kyle.
Fair.
I was gonna say, Josh asked me to get in my silkies all the time, so I don't know how to feel about that anymore. I don't know. I don't know if I can send DMs.
And it's not to make light of the situation at all, but just,
it's called gay privilege, Max. Where have you been? It's 2024. Come on.
This is true.
It's about time.
It's about time. Thank you. And if I don't date you, that actually makes me homophobic, right? Is that how that works now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to confirm. So,
if you're straight, you're not allowed to have a preference. You're not allowed to be straight.
That's right.
No. Yeah. So, but yes, thank you for saying that. We don't want to make light of the situation, but we also know that sometimes the best way to get through a lot of these darker scenarios is to laugh through it. A lot of the gallows humor. And so unfortunately, until we know more about what's going on, we can't speak too intelligently about it. But thankfully, a lot of these guys have already articulated, like I said, the perfect points of, that everything that comes with this scenario and how unfortunate it is. So we will move on.
It does upset me though that people are attacking this girl. Like, you don't know anything about her. You don't know anything about the situation. You should always just take a wait and see approach. And and I know like it doesn't need to be said on our stream because all of our listeners are good people and they're not going to go do stuff like that. But if you're just a random person in here and you're thinking of doing that, don't do that. What's the matter with you?
All right. Well, thank you guys for like I said, this was kind of breaking news. So thanks for rolling with us here, because this was kind of improv. I had some things to talk about, and then this news broke, and I was like, oh my God, this is a massive news story right now that's kind of still in progress. So we will probably get more news here within the week, but like I said, it's not looking good, unfortunately. But what is looking good is Drew's most recent project, and I wanted to share that here real quick before I forget. So Drew, this is Pray for the Sinner number 6, The Conclusion. Tell me about this big bad boy, and I will put this in the link in the chat so that people can go support you.
Yeah, so this is a Murat Michaels character. It's his property, and I've been working with Murat Michaels frequently over the last almost 2 years now. And most recently, within the last few months, he's had me come on board to do some script polishing for his Pray for the Sinner properties. And this is one of the first ones I was able to get my hands on, Pray for the Sinner. And I was able to, he gave me the script for issue 6, had me do a script polish on it. And I had so much fun working on this character. and working on this issue. This issue is action packed. Are there sexy covers? Yes, but is there more to the story than just that? Absolutely. It's just a kick-ass comic of her taking down the big baddie. The premise of the story of Pray for the Sinner, if you're not familiar with it, is pretty much I spit on your grave, but in space. And it's pretty much her getting,
okay.
yes. And it's pretty much this issue, this conclusion is her getting the final revenge on one of the last ones who, don't want to spoil what happened in issue 1, but yeah, one of the last guys.
All right. Well, I can see that she's beating up Isom right here. So that's pretty, you guys are kind of crossing worlds, which is pretty interesting. So if you guys want to see,
was that the death blow?
It sure looked like it. It did not look like a child. Yes, it looked like a grown man or a grown woman. But it doesn't look like, it looks like they are about to adapt or die. And if you do not back this comic, you will either adapt or die. So,
right.
Or adopt or adapt or die.
Adopt or die.
I think she's supposed to say adapt, but it came out as adopt.
Well, I mean, people should adopt. I'm in favor of that.
Yeah. Or die, though.
Or die. I mean, it's a little extreme.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But yeah, so go check out our good friend Drew Dolan's script here on Pray for the Sinner Conclusion. And I'm sure that you can go over to Counterpoint Comics and get 1 through 5 as well.
Yep.
But
they're offering the back issues. Yep. They're offering the back
perfect.
issues. And there's going to be, there may or may not be more with this character in the future. That's all I got to say. That's all I can say.
Is that a John Royal cover I saw in there?
I believe that was a John Royal cover. I think he's going to be doing one. It could have been Greg Bo Watson that you might have seen.
Oh yeah,
he's doing one. Sora's doing one, and Dietrich Smith did one. I think Murat's got one coming up soon. Hopefully, maybe eventually. But yeah, there's I think 4 or 5 out right now. And the Sora sung one sold like gangbusters. She did a battle damage variant.
I can imagine.
Most of those were gone.
She's such a sweetheart. I have sort of a crush on her.
I don't blame you.
She's so nice that you're just like, oh
yeah,
So
absolutely.
Very, very talented. But yeah, so thanks for allowing us to share that. And yeah, if you guys want to go check out another book by our Drew here, go check it out. And we will actually be talking about crowdfunding comics here within the next probably 30 minutes or so, because I have a video for us to play that we're going to EFAP. And then we're going to talk about crowdfunding and the importance of crowdfunding, but also where we see some problems within the industry, within the crowdfunding space, and how we might be able to change that or fix that or alleviate some of those issues. But before we get
Max, real quick, I want to say, give a shout out to the chat. Shelby Robertson, famous, incredible inker Shelby Robertson's in the chat. And yes, is American Discord. And yes, Dietrich, he did the interior art and he did a cover.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Cool. So
thank
Shelby,
you so much for thanks for hanging out, Shelby. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, he may or may not be working on a property or project involving that character. May or may not be coming out later this year. I can't say, but yeah,
very well.
It's so hard to not talk about these things when they look so damn awesome and you know what's coming up.
just say NDA, Shelby, Drew. And you
Shelby
don't have to say
roommates with Dietrich and Pat Lee. Oh, that must have been a fun place to hang out. All that creativity going on.
That's wild.
Max, do you mind putting up James Hurley's on there? I just want to address James Hurley's.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He said, "Hey Max, I'm out of the loop. Why are people hating on Eric July? We're not. We like to just make fun of the Ira trailer because it was Neil Breen level of kind of cringe. So we have fun with that. So don't take it that we're hating on Eric, but just the simple answer for why people are hating on Eric July, because he's more successful than they are. He's putting out books and he's making a lot of money, and so that's the main reason that people are hating on him. There's people that can take issue with things that he says or things that he does and things like that, and there's people that give valid criticism. So but there are a huge and we've said that, like, hey Eric, not everybody who has valid criticism for you is quote unquote a detractor. Some people have valid criticism, really want to see you succeed. But the fact is, he does deal with a lot of people who just hate the fact that he is making money and that he's doing really well and that they're not quite doing as well. So.
Yeah, I think you've got there are so many different aspects to this. I think there are individuals who you've got like individuals who need to touch grass, frankly, right? You get people who are really just kind of who have delved into the weeds here, and they are just completely hating Eric July because of who he is, like as a person. They just hate everything that he is. They hate his success. They hate him, and so they're going to attack anything that he does. You then have another group of people who are, I would probably say, like more creators who see what he's doing as an offense to creativity. I think these people are the ones who are saying, Eric is not a creator. He's not a creative person. He acts like he is, and he's a false prophet, right? He's preaching about business and creativeness and all these different things when he knows nothing about it. And I think those individuals who have been either in the industry for a while or have done this for a long time see that and they go, I have to call this out because that's not fair for people to laud him and praise him when we've been doing this for decades and know more about this, and I think those creators have every right to say what they need to say, right? And then you get people who, yes, are jealous, who are frankly just envious of his success, jealous of his success, and they want to see him fail. So there are plenty of other little factions and bubbles of, so yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think the other major factor is what we talked about on Tuesday night. He just needs to learn that he doesn't have to respond to everything, and that sometimes responding only hurts what he's trying to do. And Salty's right. The product is not the best, and you mentioned the professionals. There are a lot of professionals that stepped up to try to give constructive criticism from a positive place, and he didn't necessarily handle that in the best light. And you got to roll with the punches. But if people are trying to help you out, especially when you've called out other products for years, take the advice. Take it with a grain of salt, but take the advice.
I mean, I've offered to do editorial more than once. For not just for Eric, but for a bunch of these crowdfunders. It's like, hey, you guys, your story needs help. Let me help. I'm not expensive. I will only make your product better. And the thing is, I'm not, you don't offer editorial services, at least I don't, with the thought of like, I want to radically alter what you're doing. I want to find the good stuff that you're doing, zero in on that. And, and it doesn't have to be me, but just please get somebody. Please get somebody who's good.
Somebody. Anybody. And I think this is a good point, Zach. And I think this is why so many fans of his, like for me, for example, I have always been a fan of Eric's. I like his videos. I think I like his industry takes. I think that he has really interesting takes on the industry itself. When he was upcoming to his ISOM release, I was really excited about the book. I was really excited about Ripperverse in general. So I'm a fan of Eric. But then when I say, I don't really care to read ISOM 3, or maybe Yaira's not my thing, I'm then called a detractor. Right. So, and this is where we kind of see this, like, wait a second, that sounds familiar. Right. Like, and I'm not saying that it is Eric directly, but I know that a lot of people within this space who are Eric fans will say, if you don't like this book, you're a detractor, or you're arguing in bad faith or something.
I think we can all agree that our conversation Tuesday night for my stream was as balanced and softball as we could have been on the topic. And I still have people calling us detractors in the comments. So it's like,
Did you really? Oh, I got to go look at the comments.
It was just
wow.
I got to go fight in Josh's comments with people.
I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
People
really
are gonna people. But again, and just learn you don't always have to respond, which is why I didn't respond.
And guys, stop being so tribalist. Like, just just have a little critical thinking, have a little nuance. Why is everybody is so quick to be like, this is my side, until it's not their side anymore. That person does one thing to piss them off, and then all of a sudden it's not their side. You see this all the time in crowdfunding, and this is why I don't. I'm not part of any movement or part of any of these groups or these cliques. It's like I just don't want to be involved in any of your drama at all.
Yeah, and I think that what you guys have said is we have every time we've talked about this, Kyle and Drew, even when we talk about it on our Friday night show, even when we are voicing our opinion and being very sometimes softball, but Kyle, I think you've probably been the hardest on some of his stuff, and even still it's not nearly as bad as some other people. We do so with a very objective lens, and we do so with a lot of good, quote unquote, good faith. We don't stand to gain from hating or liking his book. And I think that's what's most important. What people have to realize is I don't have 1 million subs. I don't get paid $1 million to like or hate his book. We're here to try and give as best objective criticism as possible within the comic book industry. And that's what we try and do. And like you said, Josh, on your channel, more than any of ours, that conversation was extremely tame. We were very, very softball, like you said.
Yeah, I've been way less tame. There are reasons why we were tame Tuesday night in particular, but because you mentioned Kyle's been the hardest, I'm like, I feel like some of my comments could give Kyle a run for his money.
Kyle, what do you think?
Let's keep in mind I'm the one that during one stream was like, man, never mind, carry on.
Josh, you're starting to sound a lot like a detractor.
His books do suck. His books suck. They're not good. And that's okay. But that's okay. It's his first time. If he just came out and said, listen, this is my first time doing this. I don't know quite what I'm doing yet. I will get better. Promise me. I will bring on top talent. I will have them mentor me so it will become better. This is a first step. Take it easy. And it's like, okay, fine. But when you,
don't let those people be the Sasuke sisters.
That would probably help. Yeah.
I'm curious how the book is gonna go. Like I am curious about reading the Yaira book. I haven't backed it, but I am curious about the final product.
I'm sure
because of the Sasuke sisters.
I'm sure they're gonna take it like a chomp.
There we go.
Have you read the Black Widow book? I have not been able to find it. Have you guys read it?
I think Drew's read it, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I read it a few years ago. It came out like, oh my god, like 4 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Was it that far? Yeah, I guess 2020.
It was,
I was
like
20.
Yeah, 2020, 2019. Yeah, it's right around there. Yeah.
I have not read it, unfortunately, but I would be very interested in it. So I think Dick and Vito began to criticize him, but Dick actually read the book and highlighted a very detailed, thorough review of the book, regardless of whether Eric believed that it was good faith or bad faith. Dick did read the book and give a thorough review of it. And like I said, take that for what you will, but I do believe he went over almost all his criticisms live. So there's that. And Salty, I believe it's Horseman. So I want to make sure that we get that.
I would love it if it was Horseman. I don't know why, because I think it could go with goodieing.
Goodieing.
Horseman, like we all know, it's horsey man. Like it's a strong E.
If it's Batman, or it's Batman.
Well, in Kneel Before Doomface, you're going to meet the Horsey Gang.
Oh,
so
right. Are they jockeys?
Right. I'm up in the ante.
That would actually be hilarious if they're all jockeys. They're all like these 4'10"
tiny
guys.
Yeah,
they are. Why are you guys giving it away?
Oh no,
you're getting it.
It's great.
NDA. Yeah. Aaron, so tell us about your book. Oh, NDA. No, like what's it about? NDA? I can't say.
I can't say, but it's your book. You own it. Yeah, NDA.
I signed an NDA with myself.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, like, you're not breaking any laws. It's your characters. NDA. Sorry.
I did sign some NDAs this week. So.
Oh, good.
Very nice.
So we've been talking about being very fair and balanced and really saying that we are fans of Eric and we want him to succeed. We criticize Marvel and DC incessantly because what they're doing is they're attacking fans, they're destroying our characters, they're lecturing and pandering to a 1% of the audience and trying to tell all of us that we are bad if we don't, enjoy the slop that they're putting out. All of this stuff, right? But we also have to offer our fair and balanced criticism towards those within the industry who are also trying to compete with Marvel and DC. And I wanted to bring this up because this had me pretty furious, because as people who like we've said earlier on in the stream, I feel like we have come at this as good faith as possible, as genuine and authentic as possible, where we say we want Eric to succeed because we want a parallel economy. We would love to see more creators in this industry succeed. However, when something like this happens, this makes my blood boil, because it makes it so much more difficult for me to support someone who is laughing at the individuals who support him, especially for people who may not know kind of what's going on within like the drama of the Rippaverse stuff. But Yellow Flash, I'll play this clip. It's only 2 minutes long. This is from Katie Did's channel, so a shout out to her for getting this clip. But stuff like this makes me livid when the people who are supporting him are the brunt of the joke, the laughing stock. This is the equivalency of dunking on the chuds, right? But in this sphere of influence. So I'll play the clip and then we'll EFAP it and we'll talk about it right after.
My favorite merchandise.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. I was talking about this earlier. This is my favorite. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something. You've inspired me with this. So for when I do mine, I'm for sure gonna do like a pay your artist. Sure. I was talking to him about it the other day, so we're gonna do something like that and have maybe like the main character handing him some money or something. We're working on it.
This was fun. It's actually selling really well, man. People are in on the inside joke is they're getting a kick out of it. Shout out Kaden. Kaden did that. He did both that. Shirts. He did the both posters as well.
I bought that one, and I also bought the one you put out last time. The what's your favorite part?
Oh, what's your favorite part? Yeah. That's a good one too.
Typical troll.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. The pay your artist shirt is coming, and he's gonna get paid from it.
Yeah, there you go. This is all around been a fun campaign, man. Just
yeah, it's been a real fun campaign, dunking on your chuds, huh? So this is what gets me upset. For those of you who don't know, the 3D asset shirt is trying to make fun of people who levied the criticism of, hey, there are really stagnated, stifled artwork. There's really terrible artwork in your book, and it seems like it's being pulled from a website with 3D assets on it. Can you kind of elaborate and tell us what's kind of going on here? And instead of addressing the criticism, he said, oh, well, all artists do that. Alex Ross, the great creator of our time, has always sketched things from 3D assets. What are you talking about? So my artist, if he did that, it's, whatever. Put out a whole video about it. And then he made a shirt to try and dunk on the detractors or dunk on the haters. And now Yellow Flash is getting in on this and making a shirt to dunk on his haters, saying, oh, pay your artists. But the thing is, you should freaking pay your artists, you dumbasses. Why is that dunking on your fan? Like, you're dunking on your own fans. Look, this is why it makes it so infuriating for me, because yes, I know you're trying to troll people who are throwing these criticisms at you, but they are legitimate criticisms from people who want to see you succeed. You dumb assholes.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a way you can be cheeky with this type of stuff without being a total asshat to your fans. So, for instance, if they came out with the Irish shirt that said something like "Adopt or Die" or
she's holding a bunch of babies.
Yeah, or or something like that. Like that would be cheeky. Like that's you owning you'd made something that wasn't great. The problem is with the whole 3D assets thing, they try to act like it's oh well, everyone's doing this in comics, and a lot of people do use 3D assets. And I'll look at Mikhail Yanin, who did Batman, under Tom King, and has worked on a number of books. He uses 3D assets, but then he goes in and he alters it and changes it and puts his own art into it.
Yeah.
It is something different. This was like a drag and drop, like copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and that's insulting. So then to come out and make a shirt making fun of it, it's the wrong way to approach it. And look, no offense, but Yellow Flash coming out and fucking being like, "Oh, pay your artists." That's anyone that has any self-respect or self-dignity would choose not to work with him after he acts like this.
I hope so, man.
Not just that. After him outing Ethan Van Sciver's page rate, blasting it out there on Twitter,
dude,
without
without
his permission or approval, and that's bullshit.
And that is one of the big things that is a huge industry no-go. That is a party foul numero uno. You do not share these artist pay rates or page rates. And so the 3D assets thing, I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to do the what was the first shirt again? What was your favorite part of ISOM? Because you had people on Twitter that were saying, hey, what's your favorite part of ISOM? Knowing full well that no one read the book, or those people didn't read the book. So for that, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to monetize the haters, which is what he's done on his YouTube channel. So he's just trying to do that with the shirt. But now it's mocking its fans. And that's what's so frustrating about this. And like you said, Josh, if Yellow Flash is trying to now do this by pay your artists, and he's like, oh, he is going to get paid. He's going to get 40% on the back end of whatever you make on your campaign. But who's to say that you're now going to make money from your campaign when people don't want to support you anymore? So now you're taking money out of that artist's pocket. You know what I mean? So it's like, gosh dang, man, this is so frustrating. And for these guys to think that they're dunking on the chuds or dunking on the detractors, you're only hurting your fan base. You're only separating more people.
Everything that you think you're doing with this dunking on the chuds is no different than the way the mainstream pros feel when they insult their fans, when they insult the fans of those books. They feel just as justified. They feel just as righteous. So what's really the difference? Explain it to me, because I don't know what it is. I don't see a difference between the two. And I'm not above a good troll, and I'm not above getting salty with somebody that comes in and starts throwing punches. It's like I'll be nice until it's time not to be nice, and then I'll put down an a-hole, when they come in. But for the most part, like you don't go out there and antagonize an entire group of people that have legitimate criticisms.
Right.
Bad faith.
Oh no,
he's moving differently. He's moving
bad faith or good faith. Yeah.
I also want to go on record that while Aaron might like a good troll, I think they are deplorable human beings, and I do not conduct trolling.
Oh, of course not, Josh.
No, I've never seen Josh. I've never seen Josh trolling.
Never.
No.
Never.
It also
look. You're talking to a guy who's making fun of Dynamite. I've got a shirt that has like the CM Punk logo, but with Darkwing's crossed arms with the gas guns that says "Best in the World," and then on the back it says "Sparrow Silvani, we've been the best since day one." I have that shirt. I will wear that to cons. I will wear that to a Dynamite panel. I will go into a Dynamite panel with a bullhorn and sit on the floor and do the entire CM Punk speech, but relating to Silvani and I being the best in the world. I have no problem doing that. So, I understand a good troll, but you don't turn it on the fans. That's aimed at bad decision-making within a company and nepotism within a company and, people engaged in cronyism within a company and a company not caring about the final product. It's just a vehicle for covers to be slapped onto. That's trolling a company. That's not turning around and spitting in the face of the fans.
Yeah, and this feels much more like what would that be? The latter. Which is, it feels more like it's just like taking a piss on everything that we are trying to legitimately and authentically say in good faith. Because Josh, I think we were talking about like, or actually, was it on this stream that we talked about good faith and bad faith? Or I think it was our Friday night show.
Yeah.
It was one of these where we discussed like what is good faith and what is bad faith, and we came to the conclusion that like whether it's good faith or bad faith, it can still be constructive criticism.
Correct.
However, bad faith is when you are knowingly lying about something.
Correct.
Whereas good faith is actually coming about it from a truthful, authentic position.
Correct.
And I think what is bad faith about my 3D assets is that even if Eric knows that the artist was using SketchUp, because here's the guys and I, we were talking about this on one of our Friday nights back in the day, for 48 years ago or whenever we did this stream. One of the things that seems a little bad faith is that these are like legitimate things that have been proven that were used in the book. And whether it was sketched or not, it seems a bit lazy. And if Rippaverse is going to, what's the word, elevate itself to a position of Marvel and DC, if it's going to try and compete with the big two, it needs to be better than that. And I hope that it's better than that, because I don't want to see this shit, right? Like no one wants to see that this building is the same building that was pulled from SketchUp. Like go out, take a picture, be like a lot of these other artists who are taking their references from actual buildings in life and then referencing from that photo, right? And I think that's what Eric was trying to say in his video when he was talking about this artist stuff. But here's the 3D asset, right? And then the previous one, that it is what showed up in the book.
So you just rotate the asset a little bit, get an angle, and then plop it in.
So it's not like we're trying to lie and say, oh well, you did this, and there's no proof of SketchUp being used. It's the fact that we've seen this, we shared our criticism, but instead of taking that and going, you know what, hey, you're right, we want to be better than that, so we're not going to use that anymore. He made a damn shirt about it. And now people are buying it. And I think someone in the chat said they don't even realize that what they're buying is making fun of themselves.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there for a second, and then I was like, I started to make the comment. We have discussed about some aspects of these audiences, and it's not just Eric's audience; it's comic fans in general, the people that you see at conventions, and they don't even understand they're being made fun of, and they don't understand that they're supporting someone making fun of them. And I'll leave it at that to not completely start fires, but yeah. And Max, I'll even say that clip you just showed is a like relatively safe or decent example of them using 3D assets. There were some that were just piss poor in that book. So
ripped straight, like you said, drag and drop, man. I mean, weren't even twisted a little bit. The angle was the same. They didn't even take things out or put things in. It was just like you said, drag and drop. That was just one example.
Draw a fucking lamp in a goddamn room, you dumbass. Like, are you that fucking lazy? Is he not paying you? Then I could be like, hey, Eric July's not fucking paying me. I'm just gonna do this for free, and this is what he's treating me like. Okay, fine, I buy that. But it's like, come on, dude. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's probably paying pretty well. So like,
I would think so.
Yeah.
But see, this is something, again, Kyle, you're absolutely right. This is something that even if you're paying the artist, like Eric, okay, let's give Eric the benefit of the doubt. Eric is not a professional comics creator. So when his artist is using 3D assets and just plopping them in there and being lazy, and Eric's paying him a page rate, expecting him to draw it, Eric, you don't have to defend that. If you would have hired an experienced editor, they would have said, hey, your artist is using drag and drop, 3D assets. You might not want to, you might want to actually have him draw it out.
Yeah.
But like, he didn't recognize it because he's not a professional editor. He hasn't done this. He's just, he's been a pop culture commentator on comics.
Yeah. And like we said, that's okay. If he didn't recognize it, that's fine. But don't be making 3D asset shirts trying to dunk on detractors, right? Recognize that hey, I made a mistake. I did not realize that those were 3D assets. I apologize. The literal website SketchUp has all this stuff, and I see that now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put him on a different book, or we're just going to take him off the book entirely and take him out of the running for artist, and we're going to use someone else. We're going to have Kanan White become our full-time artist or something, right? You got to.
You didn't even have to throw the artist under the bus. You could have taken it all on yourself. You could have said, in my inexperience, I did not recognize it, and therefore I did not tell him that we didn't want him to do that for the book. So it's on me.
Yeah.
And that's like sometimes that's like a very like leadership kind of move. That's what Dan DiDio would always do. You know, one of his people got in trouble and he'd be like, oh, well, it's on me. Yeah. You know, he would always like take that criticism. For whatever you think of Dan DiDio, he would always shield his talent, and he would take any screw ups on himself.
And you know what that does? It endears us to that leader. Like it makes us love them more. Like when someone takes the hit and you're watching that dude take the hit for you, damn, man, you were like, I would follow this dude into hell, you know? And he could have done that, and he didn't. Instead, he chose to mock the fans. And what do we all, our whole channels are built off of this premise, right? And it's like, gosh, dang it, man. But even more so, like I said, if Yellow Flash is going to try and follow suit, Yellow Flash, what are you doing, dude? Now, Dillard did say that he had no problem with the pay agreement, that he signed the agreement and that he was on board for it. However, I don't know if he's done this before. And I think that Yellow Flash put him in a really bad spot. And I think Yellow Flash, the one with the responsibility here as the main like creative head of this book, I think it would have been safer for him to pay him by page, because if this book does not succeed, which I'm sure it will, because Yellow Flash is like 300,000 subscribers or whatever, but if it doesn't, Dillard is going to be in the hole again. He's already had family trouble. He's already had housing trouble with floods and all kinds of different things where he can't pay for a lot of these things, and it just sucks that he's being put in this situation now where there are going to be people who may not back Flash's book because of his actions, and now Dillard is going to have to pay the consequence for that when it shouldn't be his fault at all.
Yeah, and we talked about this when it happened, you know, and I made the comment, like, if this is a situation, personally, I believe if you were in this type of situation and you cause circumstances that could severely hinder someone getting paid based on the agreement that you set up because of your own actions, then at that point, just out of integrity, you owe that person something up front, or some type of renegotiation.
My question is, whose idea was it? Whose idea was it that, you know, was it presented to Dillard like you'll get more money on the back end and he felt pressured to take it? Or did Dillard come into the thing saying like, you know what, I feel like this book will do really good. What if you don't pay me up front and you give me more money on the back end, or you pay me a stipend or anything? At that point, I still think it's incumbent upon you as the creator of the book, the person who stands to gain the most, who owns the property. I think it's still incumbent upon you to say like, okay, well, you know, we can work out an arrangement on the back end, but you're still going to get a page rate so that you can pay your bills while you're doing this. You know, maybe it's a smaller page rate, you know, because you're going to make more on the back end. You know, there's going to be bonuses and things like that, you know, and you're gambling on yourself. But you know, that needs to all be laid out.
Yeah, I would assume it's probably a little bit of both. I'm sure Yellow Flash, you know, may have approached Dillard and been like, "Hey, I want to use you, but I can't pay you up front," and they probably worked this out. But again, you know, no matter how successful this book is, it would have been more successful if it had EVS pushing it. And I'm not saying that to like shill EVS. It's just it would have reached more audiences, and there are people that are going to support something because EVS is telling or asking them to.
And don't be mad at EVS because he didn't take the same don't be mad at him and dump his page rate online because he didn't take the same deal. You know, EVS knows what he's worth. And I've asked him on multiple, I've had clients who've said like, hey, think it's possible to get an EVS cover. And I reached out and I knew what his page rate was because he had given me his page rate. And they had said like, wow, that seems high. And I said, it's high, but it's, you're going to get results. You're going to get results because he's going to talk about it to his audience that he did a cover for this book. Whether he promotes your book or not, he's going to promote himself as having done a cover for it. And that's going to get eyes on your product. And his audience is going to, a certain percentage of his audience will go and buy it. So you're going to make more than you're paying EVS, if you have any kind of, any kind of presence or can, make any kind of money on your book. that is going to be probably your best-selling cover.
What's interesting, I think it was Eric's best-selling cover when he released I Saw Him Too.
It was.
What I was gonna,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say too, even if like say we had Dillard on the show and we were like, hey man, could you kind of walk us through this whole thing? Like no judgment, we just want to listen to you and we just want to hear what happened, right? Like what was the agreement here? How did it come about? I know Dillard's a good enough dude to where he would never throw Yellow Flash under the bus. And because he also wants to work in the comic book industry. So if it's like same thing with me, you know, if a former or if a new boss is looking to hire me and they're like, how was your old boss? And I'm like, they were kind of crappy. You know, I didn't like working for. It's like, why is that person then going to hire me within the same industry? So I think Dillard is doing the right thing by, I don't want to say protecting Yellow Flash, but he's trying to. Yeah,
I think
he's being professional.
Yes, Dillard did the right thing in calling off the dogs because people were giving Yellow Flash shit for not paying his artists. But it, you know, they came to that agreement. You know, and whatever that looked like in terms of building that agreement, Dillard is coming from the stance of this is what we agreed to. I'm not going to cause a scene. It's not fair for people to attack him because he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. It's not his fault that I'm in the circumstances I'm in. So, you know, he took the high road and I think did the right thing. And again, that's where I was saying if Yellow Flash had more integrity at this point, I think he would have said, I'm going to pay you or I'm going to do A, B, and C because of A, B, and C.
I think Dillard said that he did offer. I do remember that, him saying when he was started to go through, you know, hardships and things like that, Yellow Flash did say like, you know, well, you know, can I give you some money? Can I pay you something? He did say that. So, you know, it did come back around. I don't want to, not being involved in the situation. I don't want to like get too in the realm of condemning people. We're just kind of like condemning different scenarios here. Because we don't know the whole story. We don't know every aspect of it. But, you know, what we're saying is like, if it was this, then this is wrong. If it was this, this is wrong.
Right.
If it was this, you know, this is the right way to do it.
For sure. Yeah. And I hope that, this all gets situated. The thing that makes me upset though, is that like, I would want to talk to Dillard and say, hey, how do you feel about Yellow Flash making a shirt saying pay your artists? You know what I mean? Like even that feels like, just feels poor taste. Like it just feels really lousy and kind of gross. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You're trolling, haha, funny. But like seriously, like pay your artists. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a joke that I feel like is substantiated by trolling people. It just seems in poor taste. And I don't know. Maybe Dillard's like, yeah, I think it's hilarious.
Not a joke. It's not a joke.
And that's the thing.
It's something that you should do.
Yeah, it's just gosh. it's
like anybody who doesn't know about any of this drama, and let's face it, that is almost everybody in the world.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, if a guy's walking around with a shirt where somebody's handing somebody money and it says "Pay your artist," if they're an artist, they're going to be like, "Hey, right on, man." You know,
yeah.
I think it's like solidarity.
Yeah, it's like love your neighbor. It's like cool.
Yeah, like you think if Victoria Alonso wears a shirt that says "Be nice to your VFX artists," and people don't know who they are, they're going to be like, they're going to think they're going to go, "Oh, she's trolling," you know, or are they going to look at it and go like, "Yeah, you should pay your VFX artists."
Don't don't overwork your VFX artists. Yeah. So, Josh, is that all? I've been paying you way more to get on these streams with you. Damn. All right.
I have an update to our previous topic if you guys want to hear it.
Oh, you do? All right, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. I will bring up the. I'll see if I can pull up the slide. But yeah, please go on ahead if you have some more info.
Just apparently weaponized autism is in full effect, and now on Reddit, screenshots are showing up of Piscor liking all of Molly's high school pics while she was still in high school.
Interesting.
So it's a little, you know, it's just getting a little weirder.
Well, he's a fan of high school. That's okay.
You keep getting your education. You keep getting that education, girl.
Is that homeroom that you're walking towards? I love homeroom.
Yeah.
I'm doing a new Red Room book. It's about high school.
Oh no! Oh god! It all makes sense now.
I gotta compete with Lovesick. It's so good. Oh no.
We all know how sweaty we get while reading Lovesick. So
I'm coining a new phrase right now. Kyle Traversy.
Well, that's what it just needs to be, a keel traversy.
You know what's so funny? I cause more controversy on my channel than Kyle does. People in the comments are like, "We love Kyle. Kyle is right. Jim Lee is the best." I'm like, what is going on?
Oh, speaking of Kyle and Keel, do you have what Mark Bagley did for you? Do you want to show that off?
Oh, I do. I was gonna wait till
boy.
next week to show it off.
You can wait till next week, Keel. It's all good.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Because I know we normally tend to
what?
do our like comic talk stuff on Fridays. So
I hate to build the suspense, but it's good.
Oh, it's definitely
Is
a
it kinda like-
personalized one of one.
oh boy, is it kind of like what Donnie Cates did?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's around that same vein.
Mike has bad knees. This is a good question. What's more valuable, being on what is essentially a salary or having ownership stake? I don't know, panel. What do you guys think? I'll let you guys take this one because I've been yapping my jaw. So, what do you guys think about this?
I'll say this. A lot of times, if you are a larger name, you have a little bit of both. You have your salary, you have your page rate, whatever it might be, and then your bonuses kind of come into like the ownership stake of it. Because when all is said and done, the ownership stake is set up like a bonus. It's how it's set up. If you're new and you haven't done products before, I would say go salary. But
yeah, it depends largely on your personal situation and your individual circumstances.
Yeah, Kelsey says both. Yeah. If you can, yeah.
Yeah, if you can.
Well, speaking of being, on salary or ownership stake or making money in comics, let's hear from the man himself and see what it actually means to make money in comics and what that actually looks like. So this video has resurfaced because a couple people within the crowdfunding industry brought this to people's attention on Twitter. This was from 5 months ago, so it's an older video, but it got brought up it got circulated. And essentially what Eric is talking about here is how, I think at this point, he had released ISOM #1, and he began to talk about how he has made his success within the comic book industry. And so I wanted to go through this just the first few minutes because I have friends. You guys are all friends of mine who have been within crowdfunding campaigns. We know Murphy, who is now her primary job, her source of income is consulting on crowdfunding, projects. And I think it's awesome. I mean, to get people who have never entered the comic book space before, get into crowdfunding and share their art in this way, I think is beautiful. However, I think Eric might see it a little bit differently. So I thought we'd play this a little bit and kind of get y'all's takes. So this is Making Money in Comics from Eric July from about 5 months ago.
Riververse Publishing, which has already produced 2 multi-million-dollar comic book campaigns. I realize that there are a million videos and write-ups about how to draw and write comics, but there are hardly any that give you insight on the business side. This video, I guess in some way, will be the first of its kind, and it will be full of harsh realities, so be prepared. Many won't like what I have to say, but do understand that I say all of this because I want the industry to thrive. You cannot find solutions to problems without first admitting that they exist. The crux of what we'll be addressing in this video and series is making money in comics. I'm not speaking to those that treat it like a passion project only and think it's normal to be dirt poor. I'm also not speaking to those that are just doing this part-time with another job subsidizing.
So I think he's kind of like he's referencing, like, if you're like Mags and you have like $9 in your bank account, you probably shouldn't be. You should probably have a day job, right? Like, this is a passion project, quote unquote, for you.
Right. It's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Yeah. This is a hobby. I think that's what he's trying to say here. Is that fair? Is that kind of
what? That's fair.
Next.
I think that's how I took it.
You act like Mags regularly goes on social media begging people for money so she can go buy like guitars and stuff.
And weed and pizza. No, you're right, Josh. I should have said Danny Lore, who definitely doesn't promote her. What is it? Not her GoFundMe.
Her Ko-Fi constantly.
Her Ko-Fi, yes. Who's just, it's not even a GoFundMe project for something. It's just give me money.
she's like, oh, it's overdraft Monday, and I'm like, how old are you? How old are you?
That's a great.
I haven't had a check bounce since I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Like when I was a dumb kid who didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like, aren't you an adult? Don't you have a wife? Are you both morons?
Yes to all of these. We'll play a little bit more of this.
We're talking about making a living in comics. Right now, two very key things are happening right now in comic books. For starters, people are beginning to finally admit the economic problems that plague this industry. Creatives are broke and are complaining about pay, from legends to newbies, and it doesn't matter if you're working with an indie or the big dogs. You're getting paid very little or you're getting paid very late, or both. The other thing is that people are also realizing there's alternatives now. Crowdfunding, for example, has decentralized the means. That's great, but in some ways it's a problem. People that are in over their heads and have no business bone in their body are trying to be publishers, and they have no idea what they're doing. This is
why we have Murphy. This is where Murphy comes in. This is where I will gladly pay Murphy her hundreds of dollars. I don't want to say the exact amount, but I paid her a lot of money, and it was worth every cent. So
do you think she'd take something on the back end? You think that maybe I could work that out with her? Murphy, do all this work.
Yeah, right. I don't know how that works. And
I'll barter with her. I'll trade service. I'll trade editorial services for.
Do you do trades and services?
That's right. Do you need some chickens we can barter?
Interesting trades accepted. And I think this is what's so ironic about this video. It's aged poorly now, because now Yellow Flash and Eric are like, "Ha, pay your artist. Ha 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 ha. Isn't that funny?" And it's like, yeah, it's not funny, because it's like, yeah, pay your artist, right?
Well, do we know that Yellow Flash has a business bone in his body? Like, is he going to be able to publish this and like?
And that is why I think he's going to use Ripasend. Which, hey, to those people who want to use Ripasend, by all means, I think it is a beautiful platform that I really hope succeeds, because it will give a lot of people an opportunity to sell their books, and do so probably at a great value, hopefully. But that's what I think is happening. I wonder if Eric is saying, hey, normal publishing through Marvel and DC is crap. Crowdfunding, you never get your books, and it's by boneheaded idiots who don't know how to do business. You should use me, right? And I don't want to think that it's that sinister, but I do think that he is kind of saying something to the effect of, listen, these previous archaic models of publishing and distributing are not working. This is what we need to do from here on out, which is Ripasend.
I give him points for trying to innovate. I award no points for the name Ripasend when Shipaverse was right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ripasend just sounds like you're ripping a raunchy fart and then sending it to your customer.
Sending it across the room.
Yeah. Get ready for my Ripasend. Yeah.
Seal it.
Oh God.
It makes that little noise of an email leaving, that whoosh.
We are idiots.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so I do think that it's a little disingenuous, I think, to say that all of these crowdfunding publishers and crowdfunding dudes are complete boneheads when it comes to business. Like your boy Zach, probably at the beginning of his whole journey, over a decade ago, absolutely, he probably didn't know how to send books. But now he's probably gotten a lot better at it, and probably knows how to work the system, not work the system, but do a better job with the whole crowdfunding thing, right?
Yeah.
So we'll play a little bit more.
This caused extremely late campaigns and unfulfilled promises. Worse, some now have access to more money than they've ever seen in their lives, and they end up spending it on everything else but the project. That's unfortunate, because now many customers are weary of the crowdfunding aspect. Comics are operating on an old, broken, and archaic model. Unfortunately, some people offer input on things they're completely ignorant on, which brings me to my first point. Stop listening to your favorite comic book creatives when it comes to business. 99% of them are not publishers, nor are they.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I wanted to play that.
My favorite comic book creator has successfully shipped his books.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would not listen to what Eric July just said there. That's not 100% true.
I mean, just come out and say, like, don't listen to Ethan Van Sciver, because that's what it is.
Yeah,
pretty much. That's all he's going after. He's going
Favorite.
after him.
And I don't like even my favorite, like even if Mark Silvestri did a crowdfunding comic today, I still wouldn't listen to Mark Silvestri about his business sense on how he crowdfunded the book, but I would listen to Mark Silvestri on his creative aspect of how he draws or how he does a story. Like when I met him in Dallas 2 years ago, I didn't ask him, "Hey, how did you publish your book through Marvel and DC?" I just said, "Hey, tell me about how you wrote the story for Batman Joker Deadly Duo." And he's like, "Oh, this has been in the works for a while." So I'm not really listening to creators on their business sense, right? I don't know. And yeah, if they do get their books out on time, like Rini has never had a book that was not fulfilled, or I got all my books on time. Aaron Lepresti, beautiful books, all on time, all shipped great within Gemini mailers and everything. So it's like there are people who can do it very successfully. So I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I want to play this last part one more time.
Comic book creatives when it comes to business. 99% of them are not publishers, nor are they businessmen. They've been contractors their entire lives, and the only thing most of them know is the system that currently exists. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but taking their advice on anything outside of the creative stuff is a bonehead decision. This is why.
So damn, that's another thing. It's like, damn, so if I listen to 99% of these people, I'm a bonehead. Like that's a pretty damning statement. So
yeah, because let's like we said, we talked about earlier. To be fair, there are some very successful creatives who, in the business sense, are really good at that, and there are others who are not good at managing their money, which is very clear. But you choose wisely who you choose to listen to. That's all it comes down to. Mm-hmm. You don't have to listen to all of them. Don't have to disregard all of them. Find the right ones to listen to. It's pretty clear who is successful and who isn't, and you can learn. You can actually learn from both sides, honestly.
Yep.
What to do, what not
to do. What not to do and what to do. I've worked for so many publishers where it's like they bring you in and they're like, okay, you've been, they're new publishers and they're like, you've been in the business, these things, so that's why we hired you, is for your expertise. And then they start making boneheaded decisions that you've seen other publishers make, and you go, hey, this is a boneheaded decision, and they go ahead with it anyway because they're geniuses. They were successful at this part. How could not everything that they do not turn to gold?
Right.
And then it blows up in their face and they lose a bunch of money. And you go, yeah, if you recall, we said that was a bad idea and we gave you the reasons why. And then they're mad at you. And all you're trying to do is say, like, oh, we tried to warn you. And the only reason I'm saying that now is not to give you an I told you so gotcha, but just to tell you, like, next time, maybe heed the advice of people who've done it before.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, so is Eric July admitting he's not creative by listening to him?
Well, the interesting part for me is he's saying, like, these people are not businessmen, they're not publishers. Well, neither were you.
Yeah.
Until you became a businessman and a publisher.
What if he's my favorite creative comic book person? I can't listen to you now but you're not a creative. But are you a creative? What are you? I don't understand here. Are you both? Or you're neither?
Yeah.
I know you're moving differently, and I appreciate it, but I don't know how you're moving.
Differently. It doesn't matter how. It's just different.
You need it too. I got it.
I love that.
So no, but
Kyle,
those
you're my favorite again.
We go through phases where we hate Kyle and we love Kyle.
I got peaks and valleys.
Yep. High peaks and
why,
low,
Kyle?
lows.
It's because you're moving differently.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. You can't follow him. He's moving differently. So, and that's a really, really good point though. It's like, wait, but you could say he was maybe a businessman, but he wasn't a businessman within comics. Like he wasn't publishing his own books or sending out his own books and stuff like that. So is he the end all be all on what to say for crowdfunding or for just publishing books in general? Right. So I think the sad thing too about this is that I feel like there are going to be a lot of creators that watch that video and go, damn, he's right. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I should use the Ripasend or Shipaverse. And that way I can focus on my creative integrity and then I can have him just ship my book. Yep. But then if they're too small, they're going to go to Ripasend and they're going to say like, hey, I got my book. I'm ready for you guys to ship it out. And he's going to go, we really need you to have 100,000 subscribers. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do. Right. And so that worries me. So I feel like these young guys need to use someone like Murphy. And you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, because I've never shipped a book, right? So I could be talking out of my ass. So I have the experts here with me to talk a little bit more about it. But so I would use someone like Murphy to go, here's your first crowdfunding campaign. Here's how you do it. Let's walk through it. Let's see if you like it. And if you like it, keep using it, right? And maybe as you get larger, if your book gets like really, if you're producing fantastic content, then maybe see if you can source it out to Ripasend or whatever. Yeah. But for now, I think it's smart to have at least one crowdfunding campaign under your book.
Well, I can tell you this. If Murphy was still at Merck instead of branching out on her own, I'd already have my Miss Meow trade in my hand. I'd have a Death Rage trade in my hand where the page count didn't get misprinted so that the double page spread is now on a page turn instead of a double page spread. Yeah. This is the kind of experience. This is the kind of thing that you do. This is why you need experienced people. This is why you don't tell yourself that, you're the end all be all and you don't need people and, you don't want to be here. Fine. Like you don't like the way I run things. Fine. That's what happens with companies, and good people leave and then things get messed up. Things fall apart.
Yeah, I was going to say too, I think we need to keep in mind that I think a lot of what Murphy provides for crowd control and what Eric is offering are essentially two different aspects of this business venture. Like Murphy's going to set you up to help you organize and launch and run a campaign that will hopefully be a successful campaign. So she's going to come in with that approach that's more of a marketing technique and also a sales strategy. What Eric's offering is supply chain. Point blank. That's what it is. And, to act like this isn't self-serving for him, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but he's got a warehouse that he's not using as frequently as he needs to use it to keep the people employed.
So, Kyle, we talked about this today, Kyle, didn't we, with HA?
A lot.
Specifically,
we gave him a lot of ideas.
Oh wow. Yeah, we're not going to say him here because I don't want to give him free advertisement here. But he could be making honestly several $1,000s right now. There's one way in that warehouse right now, but I'm not going to say how. But yeah.
But I think that's what he's looking to do is utilize that, and he saw an opportunity and he's taking it. And look, and here's one of the things, where Eric was blessed. He had his very first campaign was an extremely successful campaign. It gave him the funding to be able to kind of venture out in this way. So he did get a leg up. And if he takes this, whether it's self-serving or not, but if he takes this and actually helps these other people that do need a little help, I think it's a good thing. But again, if he's going to take the little guy and be like, look, you're not big enough. Sorry. I got to run a business over here. You even with smaller distribution, you can still step in and assist one way or another. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I like I said, I think Ripasend for a lot of people, and I think even your boy Zach talked about this, but like for a lot of bigger creators, this is going to be a godsend for them because then they really can honestly just work on their creative masterpiece, right? They can just be drawing all day and not have to worry about the nuances of like, okay, what shipping company am I using? What paper am I going to print this on? Like what you can just tell Eric, hey, this is what I want. Do it in this time frame. I can wipe my hands of the whole situation, right? And that is so freeing to creators. And I want that to be the case. But I remember in that video that he launched Ripasend, he specifically said, only those. I don't want to, because I don't have the actual words, so I don't want to.
You're paraphrasing
him. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. Thank you. But he said we will only accept people with this type of following, right? So I hate to say that, but if you are kind of small fry, I don't know if Ripasend will be the best thing for you. I think crowdfunding will be a great opportunity. To see if it is something that you're looking, and to also kind of get an idea of what your market is and see if your product has viability. Like if people want your product. So sorry, go ahead, Josh.
So just genuine question, because I honestly haven't looked into Ripasend and all of its details. Is he printing the books for them as well?
Guys, do you know? Because that's a good question.
He was potentially or going to. I think it was an option.
If he's printing the books, then I have no problem at all with him saying you need to have a certain amount of copies that we're going to go to print with.
Yeah.
I'm because your cost is going to change drastically based on that. If he's not printing the books, then he's a fucking moron for saying no, I'm not doing it unless you have the certain amount. Because like your shipping cost, Survivor mentioned his overhead costs are insane. Dude, the cost of everything is what's up, Murphy? We're praising you over here. What up,
There she is. Hey.
By the
We
way,
got Murphy in the house.
Murphy's site is Crowd Control with a K. Crowd
Yes.
Control.
Yeah.
So we'll throw that in the.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Murphy. We love what you're doing, and thank you for being here. Yeah, your ears must have been burning because we were talking about you earlier and saying how great a work you do. So
yeah.
She made Unholy Nightmare. She helped make Unholy Nightmare a success. That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
She's also awesome.
She's gonna be handling. She's gonna be handling Neil before Doomface. I'm not gonna go with anybody. There's no one else to go with.
Hey.
Yeah, let's go.
Lasers.
Jesus.
We need some like
you Mac assholes.
God damn it.
I'm celebrating over here, baby.
Let's go. You're so special.
Lord.
Oh God.
Oh well.
But no, what I was gonna say is overhead costs. Like, man, stuff's expensive. You know, you're paying for employees, and he's been preaching that he's gonna pay people well. So you've got your building that you got to pay for. And when you've got stuff like comics, especially in some place like Texas, you want that. You want a climate control that's not going to be cheap here in Texas. You're shipping stuff out. You want to have a good particle board for the cardboard that you're using. You want to buy the plastics to protect the actual books themselves that you're going to like. There's all these factors that I think a lot of people don't think about. And I'm speaking from experience. I worked for a national retailer, a major one, and I helped oversee our supply chain. This stuff adds up real fast. So
yes.
If he's paying for printing, I understand. If he's not paying for print, or if he's not doing printing, I don't understand. Because the more you're shipping, the more viability you have to negotiate your shipping costs. And shipping costs are outrageous, just like so many things. They are outrageous right now. So yeah.
This and that's such a great point, Josh. Thank you for bringing that up. This could, but see, if he goes on. If he adds on books from a different campaign, like say there's 1,000 books from this smaller creator, and it's like, hey, here's just 1,000 books. Add this on to your already making like Yaira, 9,000 copies or whatever of the book. Don't they have to negotiate a different deal then? Because if you're printing one book, it's all the same thing. So you're just rolling through those pages. But the second you give them
I'm on their site right now. I'm on that Rip and Send site right now. It's all done by consultation. He says they offer a wide variety of services, but it's all done. It's all tailored to their agreements and what each individual need is for each client. So it's all, I guess, depending on the size and scope of what you have, I guess it's going to vary. But yeah, there's nothing in there as how much it's going to cost. If there's a generic,
that won't be a pain in the ass later. That won't bite him in the ass later.
Yeah.
Max, to answer your question, it depends. As far as typically, if you're shipping 100,000 units of all the same thing, you're typically going to get a better price than if it's different things. But even if it's different things, you're still going to get a better price than if you're going about each one individually. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think this is, at the end of the day, it all comes down, Michael, I think you put it well here. Look at all of them with care. Look at all your different options. As a creator, you do have to do your research. You do kind of have to put on your business cap when you're first starting out and seeing, what do I really want to do? What is my goal here? What am I, what is my bottom line, essentially? And it all comes down to that. So I think looking at these with care, but even still, I wanted to do this because I'm sure we've all been here. Raise your hand if you have a book that hasn't gotten to you within the past 3 years of ordering.
Yo,
I think that Kyle, I can see him raising his hand.
Bermuda 13, baby. Still with
oh wait, no. I've now backed 4 books. I typically avoid.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about 5 years?
That's just sad.
I
think it's coming up on it. Honestly, I think it's coming up.
Is it almost at 5? Okay.
I think it's almost at 5.
What the hell? I need details in the private chat.
Yeah, right. Well, one of them I think is Godlike, and I think that is almost maybe 4 years.
I do know
I didn't back that because I read. Well, never mind. I read some other things.
Okay.
As much as it pains me to say it, I mean, I'm still backing. I invested heavily in this book, but Black Flag by Dan Fraga, that's somewhere between
Oh, that's right.
3 to 5 years now. That's
Oh,
like 3 to 5 years
yeah.
now. It's.
I mean, it looks.
Yeah,
That's the
beautiful.
tough thing. It's like it looks so good though, and it's like, damn it, come on, man,
Hurry up.
Yeah.
So-
and that's kind of the trade-off is like, yeah, these things are going to take time if you really want that quality. So,
Do they though? Like, but like, okay, so first book out of the gate, sure.
yes.
But if you've had a couple of campaigns where you've made over $100,000, why is that money not going back into your next book so that your next book is completed before you offer it?
Yeah.
Iconic can do it.
Mm-hmm. So it's a great point, and I think that is what Eric was trying to say in one of those segments there in his video. Was basically there are a lot of people who get a ton of money, maybe 100K, maybe six digits from that campaign, and they initially go, man, I now have $100,000 profit. And it's like, whoa, no. Right. Like you may get a couple $1,000 profit on this thing, if that, right? Because of all the overhead costs that you have to pay back. Or paying for the next book that you have. Drew, I know with Unholy Nightmare, you said we reached our goal, but everything after that, we're going to try and put back into Unholy Nightmare '2, right? So stuff
absolutely.
like that.
Yeah, we've already invested in new covers for the book. I've shown some of them to you guys, and a lot of that money that we have right now in the account, that's going to go toward finishing the book, as well as shipping, fulfillment, and everything else, and printing.
And that's my hope for Kneel Before Doomface. I want to make enough money on that first campaign so that Renzo can just draw the second book. And when we do the campaign for that one, that it's like, okay, our campaign closed, it's going to the printer, and a month, 2 months later, you're getting that book in your hands. That's the goal, is so that we can do a turnaround. I don't want to be a crowdfunder for long. I want to have that be a pre-order service.
Yeah. I wonder what would make that quicker, that turnaround time quicker, because we're seeing guys like Brett Booth who are just like cranking out. He's cranking out some of the best artwork of his entire career monthly. This dude is on multiple monthly books and is cranking out artwork better than everyone in the industry, right?
Yeah,
so it's
not just covers, interior pages,
22-page books, right? And this dude is crushing it. So it's like it can be done, right? Now, granted, he's in good standing with a lot of these mainstream publishers, but as a creator, it can be done, and we've seen it before. So that's kind of what we have to compare it to. But
Andrew Dalhouse once suggested that Brett Booth and I get together, write a Backlash comic for DC, and he colored it. And I would. No, DC's never going to do Backlash. That's the problem. You think Brett would love to do Backlash and Taboo in a heartbeat?
Yeah.
He said it more than once. DC just doesn't want to do it because you know why? Because they want to put out Fire and Ice.
Oh God.
Don't remind me of that
book. I agree, Kyle. It's a national treasure at this point.
It is.
Oh no.
By the way, Max, I'm a little late, but I've joined your paint stream while we're talking here.
Oh, good. I love it. Omni, yeah, you're right, brother. I'm gonna get a night letter now. I'm gonna be getting letters in my DMs now saying I'm on the list. That's right.
Look, I get it. Like, I get it. That, like, if you're like, well, why would I complete this book when I can make, $5,000 tonight in super chats? Like, I get that, but then maybe just do super chats and stop doing books.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot to learn from all of this, but sorry, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, Survive put a comment about Deadly Duo taking a long time. That wasn't, there's way more going into that has nothing to do with the creative team. So,
what's Deadly Duo?
Batman and Joker.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sylvester's thing, yeah.
So,
yeah, because I'm pretty sure when I spoke to Mark in Dallas, when I asked him about it, I was like, so when did you come up with this? How did you have this idea? He's like, oh, dude, I've had this idea for a while. So he had Deadly Duo, like the concept for it. I think the script. I think he's had it for a while, but it just took the publisher, it took DC to get it out. But
well, you know, they don't answer top flight creators half the time. You know, they get pitches in from top flight creators. They've all been complaining about it and saying like, I just don't hear anything back.
It's sort of that, but it's not even. It goes beyond the pitch. They announced this. I want to say at 2018 San Diego Comic-Con. We were there. We reported it. And then
C2E2. Yeah, here's the Batman 75th anniversary. He was there promoting it. Yeah.
And then they went into radio silence after DC themselves announced it to fans and had a date for when it was going to come out. Like that's where the problems come in.
It's so long ago that Josh was still with Batman News. He was just a fresh.
Oh my God, that's
part of the Newsboy Legion. You know, in his little propeller beanie, going, "Oh boy, Mr. Silvestri, I sure can't wait for that Deadly Duo book to come out."
What do you say, boys?
Oh, there you go.
It's gonna be the best ever.
Scoop.
And then you got a night letter from Scott Snyder and is like, "How dare you give my book a 7?"
It wasn't. I mean, I didn't give his book. It was 6.5, and I didn't give it to him. That was Jay Yoss. What a degenerate.
Oh,
Jay Yoss is one of my best friends.
What a detractor.
Which book was it? Which
All-Star Batman #1.
Oh, that's. I would say that's high.
Agreed.
Zach says, "I'm a dummy. What's a night letter?" It's essentially a letter saying "fall in line or else." It's like a threat. It's like,
yeah, it's like, hey, we saw you talking to such and such. It's kind of the bad look for you to do that. It'd be terrible if something bad were to happen to you.
It'd be a shame if your comic book shop burned down. Yeah.
Yeah. We saw you. It comes from like, you know, when we're in an occupied country.
In Afghanistan, like when the Afghanis, you know, who were helping out the Americans, and the Taliban would send them night letters, be like, "Hey, we saw you helping out such and such, talking to such and such. It'd be a bad thing, something bad for to happen to your family if you keep talking to them."
They have to be written at night, though. That's the only thing.
Well, they can put on your door. They can put on your door at night. Well, it's because they're all from vampires, so they can only be delivered at night.
It doesn't count, Keel. It was during the day. Okay.
I got a day letter. Yeah, I guess I can't. I guess I have to stop referring to Mark Wade's night letter to me as a night letter, since it technically came through during the day.
Yeah,
and it was in the form
of a night letter.
It was in the form of a Facebook Messenger message.
Yeah, come on. It wasn't sent by pigeon. So.
No, it wasn't.
I was also going to say, because we raised our hands on crowdfunding projects that we have not received in the past 2 years, and then I think the most recent, and then the next one was like 4 years. I think we're all kind of it's about to hit 4 years. But I know a lot of us also, I have not witnessed this, but I think some of us have not even received a book at all. Like at all. Like your money was given and then it just gone.
Oh, like say to Richard Pace or B. Claymore.
Oh, yeah.
Are those examples?
We're coming up on a decade, I think, for those guys.
Yeah. Is there a point where you can like opt out and get refunded then?
No, that money's gone. That money's gone. It's like in the Ghostbusters movie when they go to Kumail Nanjiani's apartment. And by the way, that movie is terrible. They go to his apartment. He opens the door and because he sold an artifact to them, and then they're like, "Oh, this artifact, you know, it's like there's all this history behind it. Maybe he knows more." And they go to his apartment and he opens the door and they tell him that, you know, we're from Ray Stance's shop, and he goes, "That money's gone." That's basically B. Claymore at this point.
Oof. Yeah.
He spent that money a long time ago. He's not making enough money to make it up and actually finish the book and deliver it. And why would he deliver it to you, rubes? Why would he? That he was entitled to your money. You don't deserve a book for that.
Oof. Yeah. And I do believe that there are creators that believe that 100%. So 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. What is happening, brother? Great to see you here. Thank you for tuning in. I think I do want to disagree with this, though. He says, these convos about crowdfunding versus your own publisher, which crowdfunder is better, is stupid. Enjoy what you enjoy, dislike what you dislike. I do agree with you there. Enjoy what you enjoy, dislike what you dislike. But when it comes to the combos about crowdfunding versus your own publisher, I think they are extremely helpful. And I think that they can be really beneficial to people who may be entering the space that may not know kind of what to do or may have questions about it. So I think that they are beneficial. I don't want to say that they're just stupid, because it's not, we're not trying to drama farm. We're not trying to cause infighting. That shit is stupid, right? That is high school drama that has no place here. But I do think it's important that if someone is calling out, hey, crowdfunding is the way of the past, it's archaic, you need to go with my thing, or vice versa, I think it's smart that we do have these conversations that say, hey, well, let's look at all of the facts here and kind of bring these things to light, because I think that, like I said, it's very beneficial for people who may not know otherwise. So do you guys have any opinions on that, or anything else to add to the conversation? Do you, or maybe you disagree with me?
No, I think that you nailed like my perspective on it, at least.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
No, I just said, yeah, that was a good conversation. That was really good. Yeah.
Cool. And I do know that Murphy would love, I think Murphy is going to be releasing a new, she's launching this week a new project. So maybe if you guys are up for it, maybe we can do something next week, maybe on the Friday show. But yeah, we'll talk with Murphy, and Murph, if you're still in the chat, we'd love to have you on. So we'll see if we can promote your stuff, because we love trying to do that as much as we can here. So
it's the Friday show live from WonderCon.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, yeah. Hopefully we can make it to WonderCon. Thanks to Aaron. He was like, yeah, it's this weekend, and I was like, oh, is it real? Oh my gosh, I should probably get tickets. But I love going there because it's like right by. It's in our neck of the woods. So
yeah, like my hope is to go to Max's early in the morning on Saturday, do aficionados sitting with him in his or just standing behind him. I don't know. You might not have a second chair. I'll stand behind you like a magistrate.
Yeah.
But do that and then jet over to WonderCon and hang out with everybody.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Well, let's get into some reviews, because I think we've hit the crowdfunding topic. We've hit the, kind of the T-shirt topic, if I want to, say that, because that just I had to talk about that, because that was just so unsubstantiated and uncalled for.
Guys,
and then we also
help me brainstorm some Doomface shirts.
Just let's see. How can you troll people?
No, I don't want to troll people. I don't want to own any chuds.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah,
my customers are not chuds.
Right. They're paying people. Yeah.
They are paying people who have exquisite taste and elegance and class.
Honestly, Aaron, a lot of your Doomface merch, especially if it's me clothing, you can just pull quotes and it's going to be freaking fantastic. So.
Yeah.
I would love a cool distressed T-shirt with Doomface on it, like an old school. It's got like a distressed like 70s, 80s look to it. And
that'd be good. Yeah, I could get behind that.
Oh, almost like it's like a 70s or 80s like rock album cover, and then thrown on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
like a band shirt. Oh,
yes.
Fuck yes. Okay, I'm down.
Go.
I wish I had more locations in the first issue. I'd have it like in the like all the places he's going, like
Yeah, that'd be rad.
The supervillain gala is going to be great.
I cannot wait till we get to the what is your Justice League called again?
Oh, the Social Justice League.
The Social Justice League.
Yes,
yeah.
the White Knight, and the Social Justice League, with characters such as Gatekeeper, non-binary, and gender fluid.
Yeah. So speaking of reviews, or because I said we're going to get into some reviews, the recent Ghostbusters film came out. Red Letter Media did a review on it. For the most part, I think they pretty much just said it was a fart in the wind, and that's about it. It's just another movie, and it's just like, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it just kind of happened, right? And that's unfortunate, because we're getting these movies now that have zero creative integrity. It's just, hey, what's another Beetlejuice? We haven't done Beetlejuice in decades. Let's do Beetlejuice. Or Ghostbusters. Oh my God, we haven't done Ghostbusters. It's just like, have a individual creative thought, right? Like I just feel like we're missing that now. And Mike had
creative
said
thoughts
something-
creative thoughts is taking chances, Max, and taking chances makes me feel scared.
It is scary. Yeah. So that's fair. But Mike had said something in the review that I wanted to kind of highlight. And I wanted to ask you guys if you think that this is a real, like, could this be an actualization? Could this be real? Could we see this within the next few years in Hollywood? But I'll play the clip with Mike.
Before we play this, did they like speak to why they're all dressed up for various holidays?
Like,
no,
yeah, it's like I don't know why Jay's wearing a Santa. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know why Drew is dressed as Santa.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's Tiny Drew. Yeah.
I was just it was cold that day. I was like, you know what? It was like a Santa Claus type of day.
Why not? Yeah.
So, why not?
I do resonate with Mike's posture at all times. This is just how I feel 24/7 now. This is how I
This is the face. Look at that face. That face is the face of a man who has watched everything he loves, everything he's ever loved from his childhood, be burned in front of him while people laugh in his face.
Yeah. Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Indiana Jones, and now his favorite. I think his favorite movie of all time, he said, is Ghostbusters. So, but yeah, let's see what Mike has to say.
Opening moment in the whole movie for me. I've been seeing news stories pop up here and there, both in print media and on television, saying that the younger generation, 25 and under, is shifting away from movies. And even TV.
Yeah.
Like 80% of people under 20 prefer to watch short form videos on their phone, like TikTok, barely watch shows, and even fewer take the time to watch a movie.
Yeah.
And when Ray Stantz and Podcast were making their YouTube video, I was like, I had this like moment of like, this is all going to end soon, isn't it? Like movies. Because the theater's empty. On opening day.
Oh yeah, here's the view of our theater when we got our tickets.
And so my brain was like, celebrities, it's going to start like, they're going to start coming over. Movies are going to go away. And celebrities are going to start invading like TikTok and 5-second videos.
Yep.
Quibi was well ahead of its time. It was too far ahead of its time.
Yeah,
Quibi will rise from the grave like a George Romero zombie and come back to life.
Oh man. So I thought that was an interesting anecdote. Mike basically just saying movies are dead. They're not coming back. They are a thing of the past. Hollywood lost the next generation. They completely lost it. They had it when they had I think the last generation was me, because we had Lord of the Rings, we had the prequel trilogy, we had like Gladiator and you know, like the early 2000s, right? And then they lost everyone after that, because then after that, it was just, you know, prequels and sequels and all this stuff. So, but Aaron, you actually saw Ghostbusters. So do you resonate with this? Like when you saw them podcasting and going like and subscribe, what did you think about the film and how does this make you feel?
When I saw that particular scene, I was like, oh, this scene was written so that they had a reason to bring the Asian kid from the small town over too, because he was in the last movie and so he needed to be here. And then there was another scene where it's like they bring over the character of Lucky from the last film and shoehorn her into an unnatural thing, because it's like, okay, it's the Spengler kids. And for some reason, Paul Rudd and the Spengler wife and the Spengler kids are all living in the firehouse now. And it's like, I don't understand. They're going out on calls. Paul Rudd and the wife are going out on Ghostbuster calls. And I'm like, I get that her dad was Egon. I get that she wanted to reconnect with her dad. I don't see anything in her character. And there certainly isn't anything in this film for her to want to be a Ghostbuster. It's all so miserable. Like in the first movie, and even in the second movie, you want to see them go out on calls. You want to see the crazy ghosts because it's funny and they do funny things while they're out there. And none of that happens in this movie. None of it. There's way too many characters because they had to bring everybody that was in the last movie and shove them in. And then we got to have, you know, Fat and Oswald's stupid head in there talking. You know, you got to endure a scene with him. Actually, Kumail Nanjiani's pretty funny. Like he's like the only one that's trying. There's nothing for Finn Wolfhard to do in this movie, by the way. He's just there because he's one of the kids. I guess his arc, like I think even Mike and Jay say it, his arc is he wants to drive the Ecto-1, and then at the end of the movie he gets to. Yay, character development.
Hey.
That's
what I call setup and payoff. Yeah.
There's a lesbian teenage ghost subplot, like romance subplot between Phoebe and this ghost that burned to death. And actually, I will say the actress that plays the ghost and her interaction with Phoebe, it's actually cute. It's a cute interplay of like, that was actually like, I was actually interested in their scenes, and it doesn't go overtly lesbian. You could watch it and say it's just two young awkward girls kind of relating to each other, and but Hollywood's agenda, so it just every scene you just feel it. You're just like gritting your teeth, going like, oh, is Ray gonna walk in with the PKE meter and being like, I'm picking up stage 5 16-year-old spectral scissoring. It's just feel the agenda coming. And it's like, but like I wanted to enjoy that. I wanted to just enjoy like a sweet friendship between two girls, and they actually pull it off really well. The actresses do a good job. But when that's the most interesting thing in a Ghostbusters movie, I was bored through the rest of it. Bill Murray shows up for his usual 10 minutes. He's got a good line where Ray's like explaining everything that they need to do. We need to, recalibrate the blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? And Bill Murray just kind of exhaustedly goes, just pretend that we do, Ray. Like, just do it and pretend that we know, and that's pretty good. But it's not worth the whole movie. And then at the end of the movie, it's like, hey, the kid's called Paul Rudd Dad. And it's like this big moment. And I'm like, oh, was I as an audience member supposed to be rooting for that? Because you didn't get me there. I don't care. Like, the wife is like, there's nothing for her to do. There's nothing for Finn Wolfhard to do. The movie is mostly about Phoebe, but they also focus on some, 4 out of 10, man. Just not necessary. Not necessary. The only reason that it got, and the only reason that like maybe I would rate it like a solid 5 is just because if you love Ghostbusters and you're just like, I want to see Ecto-Pack, Ecto Gear, and I want to see the Trap, and I want to see Slimer, and I want to see the Ecto-1 again, and oh look, there's an Ecto-3 and it's a motorcycle that kind of references the cartoon and the toy line. Like if you're into all that, the jangling of keys, then you're gonna have an okay time. But if you actually take any time to think about the movie, it's just, you're gonna be like, can I just get my $10 back?
Yeah, and that's the big thing. This is so unnecessary. Why did we need this? No one asked for this, right? No one asked for Afterlife, and no one.
But people were generally well disposed towards Afterlife because they were like, okay, you gave us an ending. Yeah. The thing I didn't like, and I was like, okay, yeah, you gave us an ending. It was like kind of a nice saying goodbye to Harold Ramis, and I get it because we never did get that third Ghostbusters. But also, it falls into the same thing that we don't want to see in any of these movies. In Star Wars, I didn't want to know that there's been no peace in 40 years since Return of the Jedi, and all of my heroes are sad and old and have had miserable lives fighting a continual war. I didn't want Indiana Jones to be a broken down old man. I didn't want Nick Fury, in Secret Invasion to be an incompetent, broken down old man. I don't want to know that the Ghostbusters business wasn't successful after Ghostbusters 2 and they all drifted apart. And and then now I'm supposed to cheer for this new family being Ghostbusters. I don't give a shit. The movie should have been the Ghostbusters franchising out, and then you bring in actors like Paul Rudd, Kumail Nanjiani. You bring in those kind of, Jack Black, whoever, just people that are going to be funny on screen and bounce off of each other well. That you bring them in and they're like the new team, and then the old team's like there to kind of like advise, but they're because Ghostbusters works if they're old and schlubby. It's actually kind of funny. Sure. The older and fatter and schlubbier that they are.
That was kind of these are just normal dudes starting a business.
They're exterminators.
That's the Ghostbuster film, right? So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that this was just so pointless and boring, and like you said, 4 out of 10. And I think what I continue to hear,
Annie Potts is in there. They make the big deal, and it was like kind of cool because like the cartoon, you're like Milnet's in uniform, and you're like, oh, all right, Janine's getting her due. She could not be less interested in being there. At one point, she has to walk up some stairs, and you're just like, why are you making her do this? She's so old.
Oh,
she's so old. She's still cute, but she's not even like being Janine anymore. She's just kind of like. She's Annie Potts, just there. Yeah, because she has.
I think the biggest criticism that I hear is too many subplots and way too many characters, and Phoebe is annoying. Like those are the 3 ones that I've heard the most. But I like what you've said about this and said, hey, this should have been something different, which is handing this off to a lot of other individuals. But on the topic of kind of moving over from Ghostbusters and talking about what movies mean now. Do you guys legitimately think that celebrities are going to start hopping onto YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that and being like, we're now going to take over, like, this is our Hollywood now, or like what was it, the Carol Danvers
Brie Larson's
Brie Larson started doing a YouTube channel. She's like, I'm doing yoga stretches, and everyone's like, what?
Well, I was going to say, you're already seeing it. Look at how many celebrities are moving to do podcasts now, and they're having some of the most successful podcasts. And as sad as it is, I think they're right. I think we're moving away. I see this with not my current staff, my old staff. A lot of them don't watch TV, they don't watch movies, and they just doom scroll through TikTok or YouTube. And it's not even long form YouTube videos half the time; it's shorts. Like that's. And what's weird is, like, for me, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, if I am in a doom scroll session and I go through stuff, then I'm like, holy shit, I just did this for more than an hour. I feel like I have accomplished nothing.
I feel like I've wasted my life.
Yes. If I watch a 2-hour movie, I walk away feeling like I accomplished something. It's just weird. I don't know.
One thing I would do on YouTube, I will normally, before they nuke their channel, I would just have Cartoonist Kayfabe on. I would have their Wizard Magazine reviews on in the background. I would just listen to them talk about the old Wizard Magazine. And
that aged poorly. Yeah.
Wait, sorry.
Talk about those cute anime schoolgirls. What are you talking about? It's all
my internet cut out. It sounded like Drew said, "Hi there, little girl." But
that's what I heard. I don't know.
Hey, little girl, is your daddy home and leave you all alone? Nobody in the booth. Nobody in the booth when Springsteen was singing that was like,
"Wait, what?
What'd you say?
Hey, Bruce."
Yeah.
What's this song? What's the song about? Wait, it gets better. I got a bad desire.
Bruce, maybe you can't tell Bruce what to do. So yeah, no, I agree. I think when I watch a film that's like 2, maybe 3 hours long, I really feel like I have absorbed a piece of art. And I know that sounds pretentious and fucking, but like really, you've watched something that takes so many hours to create and thousands of people to hop on a project like that. There's a reason why the credits last for like 20 minutes now. It's because of how many people are involved in a project like this. And it just shows someone's passion, like their creative works on display, and you get to see the film and you're like, man, that was, I got to watch a little bit of art here, whether it's Denis Villeneuve or what's his name, Freddie Got Fingered, you know what I mean?
or Paul Feig's Ghostbusters 2016.
100%.
Max turned to me in the theater and said, "We just witnessed some art."
Yeah. Or when we watched Madam Web and I walked out having a headache.
We just witnessed a wet fart. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Literally many farts in that film. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, out of the front too. Isn't that funny, Drew?
Yeah.
They came out of the front instead of the back.
I like that. I like that one.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the most
classic
cartoonishly evil laugh that I've ever heard, Drew.
That's his like, I'm an idiot dork and I'm laughing at this stupid thing. It's like funsy onesie ice creams.
Oh, my soup only has one wonton.
Oh yeah. Oh, my bunions are killing me. Oh. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it.
I based my X-Men stories off of D&D. Isn't that great?
Oh no. Yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. But I was gonna say I might actually put stock in Quibi. I don't know. YouTube Shorts, that's what everyone's watching. I mean, even with my Warhammer channel, I have just a few shorts on there, and I've already gotten subscribers from those shorts. You look at all the TikTok videos. People are now producing like film level quality TikTok shorts. Like they're filming it with like beautiful cameras and lighting, and they have scripts and stuff for TikTok videos. Some of them don't, and they're just stupid, whatever. It's like 13-year-olds dancing to a stupid thing and it gets like 400 million views. But that's where people are going to now. Like I legitimately think that Mike has something, like I think he's prophetic here in saying that people are going to stop watching movies and they're going to go over to YouTube and TikTok and whatever. And yeah, everyone's going to have a podcast. So it's going to be like, are you listening to this podcast? It's like, oh, out of the millions that there are, yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be weird, but
people can't even like read past a headline anymore. You know, like nobody has an attention span anymore. They can't read past a headline. They're certainly not going to watch a movie. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
I could have watched like 16 TikToks in the time it took the opening credits of this movie to go. You know, that's so much better. You know, like there's actually, I saw a video the other day and it's just, I was fascinated by it. It's just this girl and there's a song playing and she's making weird faces and kind of like dancing with the camera really close up to her, like making chomping noises, like throughout the song and like doing like weird eyes and stuff like that. And it was like 200,000, you know, likes. And then like the first comment is some dad going, you know, I watched this with my daughters. They love your content. And so I clicked through. I'm like, well, she's got to have something else, right? Like, and I clicked through and no, that's literally all it is.
All she does. Yep.
Just different stuff. And it's like, it's cute for like 15 seconds. You're like, oh, this is weird. This is kind of funny. She's making cute expressions. Like, you know, I got a chuckle out of that. But like a whole channel.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, okay, this is made for kids, but or is it made for retarded adults? Like, I don't know.
It's made for a screaming abattoir of retarded, misshapen troglodytes.
Oh, wow. That was beautiful.
And spreading their filth on the walls.
Yeah, that should be Eric's new. Instead of detractors, it should be misshapen. What was it? Misshapen something troglodytes.
Misshapen troglodytes. An abattoir full of them.
Yes. Yeah. I like it. Josh, you were about to say something?
I was just gonna say, I figured this is the best time opposed to ever in an attempt to grow my channel, to grow Pop by Culture. I'm now gonna be an ooh girl. Ooh woo. There we go.
Well, you already have on your top.
Did you grab that from somewhere, or are you doing that?
Oh no, I grabbed it from somewhere.
Yeah, you have to grab it from the video. But
can I get it?
Yeah. But I mean, Josh, you could do that.
I don't like the way that makes me feel, Josh, every time you play it.
We'll have to change it. Yeah, Josh, you could just do the Ahiego eyes or whatever you call it, Asego, where they cross each other, and then you go and you're like, or you do the Glizzy King guy, where he's like, Glizzy, thank you. Oh, hot dog, yum. You could do that and make money off of that.
I mean, sounds
fuck
like
is this shit? What are you guys talking about?
I'm with you, Kyle. I don't know anything Max just said. I don't even know what language that is.
Are we talking about comic books? What the fuck are we even doing?
Okay, we're talking about pop culture, and that's what makes it scary. We will send you videos in the group chat. How about that?
Oh,
Kyle, you do not want them to send you videos. I don't know what they're talking about, but I can guarantee you don't want these.
Yeah, this is the future of film, Kyle. This is the future of movies. Is Glizzy King?
It really is the Idiocracy future, right? We really are on the brink of the #1 movie in America being called Ass, and for 2 hours, that's all it is. It's just an ass on the screen.
Don't come in, I'm baiting. When he's on he's like, yeah, that's what they say in the movie.
Ali just sent me that in a text the other night because we started talking about Idiocracy. I'm baiting.
I'm baiting
about that.
Well, I'm baiting to this $5 super chat from Dylan Lindsay. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you so much, man. He says, hello, everyone. I didn't think movies or TV are going anywhere anytime soon, but the bloated budgets will. They need to actually be able to make money. I think I agree with both. I disagree and I agree. I think they will lower their budgets, but I think that will then get actors angry because they won't get paid as much, and so they're going to do YouTube and podcasts on the side to make more money.
Listen, good. I want actors to make less money. Then it's like most of them are like, should Mark Ruffalo be making more than like $300 when he does a movie? No, absolutely not. It's ridiculous. That guy should be washing your car, like
or at least just not giving his political.
That's it. Go away.
Yeah.
Peyton.
Yeah. I think we need to like level set what we mean by movies and stuff are going to go away. People are always going to make movies. People are always going to make like some type of TV show. What you're going to see change is movie theaters are going to go away.
Yeah.
Your I guess access to things that are going to showcase movies is going to get limited. And the only thing I can think of as a comparison, if you go back to 2000, if you said, hey, within 20 years, physical media is going to practically be obsolete, I don't think anyone would have believed you. But that's where we are. If you want to go buy a physical CD, you can't go buy that anywhere. If you want to go buy a DVD or Blu-ray, half the time you have to order it now. All these retailers are backing out of it. Brick and mortar stores don't carry these things. They're going to go away. The film industry as we know it, television as we know it, is going to change drastically to where it's something that we're not used to. We're not going to recognize it. And I know we're saying it as if it's happening soon. Realistically, 25 to 50 years. That time span, you're going to see it go away and change.
Oh, Josh, we're not going to be. Civilization's not going to exist in 25 to 50
Well,
years. You know,
enjoy
the ride, folks. We're all going down.
I think we're seeing this now with video game companies where they're like, you will own nothing and you will be happy. Because with all the video games, when they release like box sets, like I think it was God of War, they released this like anniversary box set of God of War. It didn't come with the CD of the game because it came with like the download code on Steam or whatever it's called. But it didn't come with the game. It came with like the book of like the art, and it came with like the, this and that, and like all these like cool like Kratos things. But it didn't come with the game.
Disney tried to sell a WandaVision box set with no discs.
There you go.
You just gotta go watch it on Disney. You gotta go watch it on Disney Plus. Here's a 3-month subscription to Disney Plus.
Yeah,
genius.
I've got over 3,000 physical DVDs, and I'm not losing them anytime soon. Those are my prized, treasured possessions right now. Those are going to be gold here.
Physical media.
Drew will be the richest man in the apocalypse because he holds all of the entertainment.
One of my friends.
Drew is the keeper. Drew, we must go see Dolan, the keeper of stories.
Yes, yeah. He's in this big library, a big old beard. One of my friends in the Marine Corps would always say when the apocalypse happens, he's going to have all this bartering power because he has so much porn. And he's like, people are going to want their porn, and I'm going to be the guy to get it to him, I was like,
he's a man with a plan. I got to give him that.
I was about to say, like, listen, dude, hey, you know what? He was determined. He was like, no, it's seriously happening. And I would always laugh, and I'd be like, that's a really funny joke. And he's like, I'm not joking.
Then you would just back away slowly.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to shake your hand. We're not going to give you 5. We're okay.
Right. Speaking of Disney Plus, though, and you will own nothing. Disney Plus just released a show, and we'll kind of end our evening here on X-Men 97. I
gotta say, you lose points for that transition.
Why?
Speaking of Disney, you went with speaking of Disney Plus instead of speaking of actors and producers finding other methods of income like OnlyFans.
He does have you. I mean, we're talking about the show, right? We're not talking about Bo and his.
Okay, wait. Take two. All right, and action. Speaking of, no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that.
Wait. I have a third option.
Oh.
Boy, yeah, Hollywood really has pulled a boner, haven't they? And speaking of pulling boners,
X-Men 97. Boing.
Hold DeMeo.
Yeah. So I will say I have not seen this. I have not watched the first 2 episodes. So I cannot critique it. However, my beautiful panel of gentlemen have actually watched it. At least I think most of you guys have at this point. And to shocking surprise, I think a lot of you guys actually enjoyed a lot of different aspects about the show, to the extent where like I've heard things as far as like it sucks to all the way to, hey, it's actually not a bad start, and I enjoyed quite a few aspects of it. So I mean, you got to give it to them. It is only the first 2 episodes, and we know Disney Plus does this a lot, where they release the best of the best that they got, and then the whole thing kind of, after that. But So yeah, Keel, I feel bad. We haven't gotten to hear from you. You watched this, and I think you probably have the harshest take. But what'd you think of X-Men '97? Is it worth it? Did we need this?
Yeah, no, it's worth it. Actually,
Oh.
I was pleasantly surprised how much fun I
Wow.
had with this. I was ready to roast the shit out of this, and I couldn't wait. I'm like, oh, here we go, here we go, boys. I'm starting the fire. I'm getting the pitch. Let's go, and get the marshmallows out. But no, I actually was pleasantly surprised. Now, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I think the animation is bad in some spots. I think Jean Grey being overly like stupidly pregnant for like anyone to see how pregnant she is, and it's like, okay, we get it, you're pregnant, but like some of it didn't work. The voice acting felt kind of off.
Yeah,
Rogue sounded terrible.
Agreed.
Yeah, like really bad. Like it was so bad. I'm like, just shut up.
Look, Rogue sounded like that.
Rogue sounds like an old lady. Like you can tell
she sounds like that like 55-year-old waitress at the little coffee shop that smokes like 3 or 4 packs a day. That's what she reminded me of.
Really?
Yeah.
Barb. Her name is
Barb.
Yeah,
Barb,
for me the most
I was gonna say Barb doesn't care about how your day's going. She just wants you to fucking order so she can go back and smoke a cigarette. Okay, there we go.
Look, those shoes are uncomfortable. All right, she's been on her feet all day. Just tell her you want the goddamn pancakes and then shut up.
Yeah, that's our Rogue, everybody.
That's Rogue.
She's like that old waitress in the Hell or High Water. Well, don't you want green beans or don't you want the baked potato? All right.
She's like the old lady that I got a hold of when I was trying to get a hold of my friend's boyfriend at Comic-Con when she got roofied. And some old lady picked up and was like, hello. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I think I have the wrong number. And she goes, would you care to make it the right number? And I was like, oh.
Oh my God. That's quite the story. Oh my Lord.
Have I never told you that story? Oh.
No, never.
No.
More intriguing than X-Men '97. Please continue.
I guess so, yeah. So now is it her acting ability? Because I know some voice actors have a good voice, but they just can't act in a remote.
Yeah, it's the same voice actress. She's just now 30 years older, and I guess they're trying to respect the role and the character, but like she's okay, but she doesn't have that same same energy, that same youthful energy that Rogue has. Clearly, you can tell it's like, oh my God, you're Rogue, you're old.
Yeah, they were like, you can stay because you don't violate the demographics of the current PC casting culture in any particular way.
Well, it's like when everyone was freaking out when they announced that. I think the actor's name is Chris Potter, but Chris Potter wasn't voicing Gambit, and he used to voice Gambit, but he's voicing somebody else. And we're like, oh, you got him. Why would you use him?
Cable now.
Dude, he's like 60 something. Why would you? You're gonna hear it. And I made the comparison of Harrison Ford voicing the young Indiana Jones in this last movie. Like you could tell it was like this old fart saying these lines.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Yep.
I hear Wolverine.
When Indiana Jones starts asking where his Yankee bean soup is, and you're like, oh, that's right, he's an old man. He's like, I just want a shawl and my Yankee bean soup. Where's Callista?
The voice actor for Wolverine is interesting because it's almost like he slips into an accent at times.
Is it an Australian accent?
I was about to say.
It's just weird.
It's a weird one, and it's not good.
You know what? I think it's either like Icelandic or Slavic. They're the same thing, though, right?
Yeah, those are about the same. Yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot about the NDA.
Well, did they have a voice actress, like an acting coach, a voice coach, on set with them while they were doing the Icelandic Slavic accent?
Yeah, she's a real chump.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Check the credits.
For me, I would say the most disappointing voice was Magneto because if you really listen to, like, for example, the first season, Final Solution, the last episode, you listen to that fire and that passion and energy like that in like that kind of like ethnic tone that Magneto had in that episode. It is powerful, and the Magneto here, he's good, but he doesn't have that power. It's less ethnic, it's lighter, it's more bland. He doesn't because the Magneto in the original series, he really accentuated his A's and his R's, and I miss that. Here it's just it's good. It's just it doesn't have that uniqueness that the original Magneto had. But I'll say the best one is Storm. Storm had the best voice.
She was great overall. Really liked Storm.
Hands down.
I don't know why
Does
they wouldn't go all the
she-
way though. They give her the mohawk, but they don't give her the punk outfit.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I have a
Not yet. We'll see.
Story wise, because between Drew and Kyle, out of these first 2 episodes, what do you think of the story?
I like episode 2 more than 1. I'll say, granted, episode 2 has some very heavy-handed moments. There's a lot of heavy-handedness in episode 2 with some of the dialogue from the Executioner, but still, beyond that, the stuff with Storm and Magneto is so fucking good. I love it, and the cliffhanger episode 2, it's like, oh, we're going here. I love it, and it really has that great 80s X-Men feel to it, but with Morph. Even though he's not really a major factor in this at all, but I dug it. I really loved episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2 is good.
Yeah, I would say episode 1 felt very safe, bland, even. Episode 2, that's when you really saw the plot threads come in, and you can see the character arcs that they're going to carry out through this first season. I don't know how many episodes this first season is supposed to be, but that's what I thought. And if this is what we're getting for 8 episodes, hey, I'm down. And if you can keep it up, I'm on board. And you mentioned Morph not really having a role to play, but man, he's also like the scene stealer in a lot of ways. There's no plot going on there, but he's that X factor coming in because you don't know who he's going to appear as. I'll say that, I guess.
I was going to say, Josh, you and I kind of spoke about this a little bit too after Aficionados on Saturday, but like, I cannot tell you how brilliant I think it is that they are going with the release by weekly model, that they're not binging this thing, because all of your nerd channels are going to be doing, here are the 10 Easter eggs from episode 2 of X-Men the Animated Series 97 or whatever, or like, here's my review of X-Men 97. Like, they are going to milk this every single week, which is going to get people super hyped for this. So even though there may be some things here or there that are like, Morph doesn't really have a story to tell, or, maybe the voice acting is a little off, or maybe things are a little bit heavy-handed. I still think overall this weekly release model is going to be huge for hype. So
but that's what good television needs to be,
Yeah.
And as much as we talk shit about things like WandaVision's the last time that I can remember people, at least with a Marvel property, speak like when WandaVision was airing, everyone was talking about it after it aired. Each episode aired, they had their theories or whatever was going on. And this is a little different because people are kind of, again, going to the Easter eggs or, what this could be setting up narratively. Like, Aaron just said, like, oh, it's a shame they didn't give her the, Storm the full punk outfit. And Drew and I are both like, whoa, I mean, let's wait and see, though. So
yeah, because I just love the 80s X-Men era. And I was pulling out my Essential X-Men, to those issues where Forge builds the weapon to take out Storm's powers. And it has me wondering if Forge is even a factor in this, because he's the one that built the gun in the original comics. I'm wondering if this was just constructed randomly by the Friends of Humanity, and we're not going to get like a Forge tie-in. But
I don't know. I've seen the character design for Forge. I think he's going to be in it. I don't know when.
Or it's going to be Morph.
Or it could be Morph. Anybody could be Morph.
I mean, look, within like a 45 to 60 second span, we saw Morph as Morph, Lady Deathstrike, Colossus, and Psylocke. Like, that was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that's pretty damn cool.
Someone
and
asked,
even like,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and even briefly, like even the brief moment, what was it? Oh, the clip that I did see of Cyclops fighting Executioner, that action, I gotta say, looked really dope. And that was just a clip of it, right? So I didn't watch the whole thing. Like I said, I want to be genuine and tell you guys what's what. But the brief moment that I did see, I thought it was pretty rad. Sorry, while you guys were talking, I'm sorry, I was reading this. We'll have to go back to this real quick before we end the stream.
There's
Oh.
Yeah. So maybe it was a whoopsie daisy. I don't know. So
yeah, accidentally
deleted my entire channel. Whoops, guys.
Yep, there they are. Yep, they're back.
So yeah, but
were they just taken down to edit out content? Like,
that's a good question.
We need to go through these. I mean, it's like 1,000 videos you'd have to go through. Unless you
Or
knew
maybe-
specifically.
And they edit their comment section. So they turn comments off and then they one by one like allow them to be put onto they go through them and actually publish them. So they do things differently on the channel.
Weak. They move differently. They move differently.
They're moving differently.
And I was gonna say, yeah, so we'll check that out. I think one of the things that I can't stand though is why the hell is Gambit wearing a little, tiny shirt? Oh, wait.
It's
Wait
the
a second.
90s, man. It's the 90s.
It's the 90s, baby. Let's go. So Aaron put this on Twitter.
He looks great at it. He looks great at it.
I think I did end the debate too. I think I was just like,
yeah. If it's good enough for Carl Weathers, it's good enough for our boy Gambit. And he's got the silkies, dude.
Yeah, he's wearing the
He's got
silkies.
silkies. This is what I need to wear for my next birthday stream. I mean, come on.
Like
But I did not like the Magneto costume. I did not like it.
Kyle, that's
it. Looks great.
Kyle.
It looks great in the comics. I know. It's in the comics. I get it. It looks fucking stupid in an animated form. I'm sorry.
Listen,
They
needed to put the big,
I can't do it.
They needed to put the big M on him so that Joe Russo could embarrass himself by saying it's MAGA.
Oh, of course, yeah. But once again, it's like it doesn't make sense, because are you saying that he's being tried for his crimes, but now he wants to do good? So are you saying that like Trump?
That's a very, very far reach. You're listening to Magneto talk. Not once did I really get anything out of MAGA from that. It's like, this is good. No, it's not there. You're chasing at windmills.
Apparently, I accidentally tweeted a picture of Mike and not Carl Weathers.
Yeah, Mike, what are you doing on Aaron's Twitter? What the hell? Mike, don't show us your DMs between Aaron, and then we'll have to take our channel. Yeah, no.
I'm grooming Mike in his bad knees.
I honestly, some of my favorite bodybuilders from the 90s, some of the best guys that have won Olympia championships, they used to wear the crop tops, man. That was the thing. So and I agree with this, Andre. The X-Men animated was actually really rad, and I think the same guy voiced Wolverine for that one too. I'm not sure. Maybe they had a different, potentially. But that was a X-Men anime. It was actually pretty rad.
So Max, the big thing is that there's a lot of questions I had watching this, like a lot of things, like because it's like I don't want to get into all the questions, but one of which is how the fuck is Bishop back in the present time? Why is he here? How did he get here? And is Xavier really dead? As far as I knew, he was with the Shi'ar being healed, but is that just a public thing saying that he's dead, or did he actually die in the last? Because clearly it's not directly right after that last episode. It is clearly at least 8 to 9 months since what happened, and a lot. But I wonder if we're going to get. And there's a big subplot involving Rogue and a certain other character. I don't want to spoil. And it's like, when the fuck did this happen? That's what they need to explain. That when the hell did this happen?
In the Savage Land, because they're both old enough to have been from the Holocaust, to live through the Holocaust.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Well, before we finish our conversation here, I believe I can hear a crying baby. So that is Kyle. Oh no, I'm sorry. Kyle has a crying baby. So he's not the crying baby.
No, I'm the crying baby.
Oh, okay. Well, you're crying about how good X-Men 97 is.
I had a joke that it's probably best I keep to myself.
Oh no.
Oh, please share.
Put it in the private chat.
All right.
Please. But yeah, no, dude, thank you for hanging out with us for 2.5 hours. You totally didn't have to do that, but we appreciate you. You were our guest tonight. But thanks for being here, man, and supporting. It was great to see you. And sorry we had to miss you on Friday, but we'll see you this week.
Absolutely. I'll be there Friday. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me crash the show.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, man.
Looking forward to Friday. Wait, there we go. Yeah, woo.
Later, Kyle.
Aaron, I love it. Thanks. See you guys. Appreciate it.
Later, brother.
Later.
Bye.
Oh gosh, yeah. I just got the private chat. Oh boy.
Ooh, spicy.
Spicy. Yeah.
I'm a spicy meatball.
Spicy meatball. So Yeah,
I was
Josh,
gonna-
what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say, what I was going to say earlier. Someone asked how a Cyclops, and then Crane Kicks they nailed Cyclops in the show, and I'm gonna agree. I really like Cyclops in these first 2 episodes. Like he feels like a leader, and he anchors the show for me so far. So
yeah, given a lot of respect, much more respect than I thought they were going to give him, and it was
yeah.
quite shocking, honestly.
And he should be. He is their anchor to both.
Yeah, he's the leader. He's the guy.
The OG team, yeah, and to the new team. So I love that, man. That's good to hear.
And Max, you mentioned the action, and even though I think the animation itself could be better, they do a lot of really creative things with the action that I think is unique, but not trying too hard. Like when you see it, it kind of makes sense, and you're like, there were things that I witnessed in these first 2 episodes that I was like, I wonder why people haven't thought of this before.
Yes,
maybe I'm all alone in that, but
no, that makes sense. And I guess it is now that because my whole question was always like, why did we need X-Men 97, right? Like, what are they doing to add to, or like to finish off a story, or to create new stories, or to, why do we need it now? And if you're saying they're utilizing this to show off new inventive ways of like how to do action with this animation style, I'm here for it, man. That sounds really rad. So I will probably wait till the entire series is out and see if it's worth my time. Because I think I was telling you guys the other morning.
It is, Max. Max, you're going to enjoy it. I guarantee you. You watch, by the time you get to that second episode, by the end of that second episode, you'll be like, holy shit, yeah, I got to watch what's coming up next. Because I love, I'm sorry, I got to say this again. I love so much what they did with Storm in the second episode. Storm is amazing in it. And if they really go down the path I hope they're going to go down from like the comics, I am all on board for it. I cannot wait.
Yeah. So I have the 92, 93 series, and I love that a lot. And it's, even though people might say like, oh, this is so much better, I just, like I said, I don't really need this. Like, it's great, and I'm super happy that people are loving it, and I'm even more thankful that it's good. That people are like, hey, this is actually really good. I don't know. It's like I don't need a continuation of the story. The series ended, and I'm cool with that, and I don't need anything more.
I'm gonna say is that last episode, that last season, the art was so fucking bad, the animation was so bad that this gladly makes up for that last season, and it needed it. And I'll watch this. I'll gladly rewatch this more than any episode from the last season.
Okay, all right. But yeah, anything else that we want to say about X-Men 97? Because like I said, I probably won't watch this until it's out fully. This is kind of interesting too. Mike said that both of these were written by Bo.
Oh,
so what really got him fired? I think we still have yet to find out. So
and we talked about what those possibilities were.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I'm glad that this is awesome, man. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about it, because I hope that it continues. Like, because honestly, the best thing for this would to have more hype and to get even bigger as it continues to go. Because that's what we're seeing in the theaters, right? It's like you have something that comes out, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I think, came out, and it had kind of a small opening. But in that second weekend, it either kept its pace or gained like more people. So that's what I think I'm seeing a lot with TV shows and movies now, is that people are so much more hesitant to get in there. But then once they see it, word of mouth, and then it's like, hey, this is really good. So, but yeah, did anyone look and see if the Cartoonist Kayfabe guys had put up their stuff again?
Yeah, the video, their channel is back up. All the videos are back up.
Have we seen whether or not there's been like a statement issued? Like, I categorically deny these. You could cut and paste Vince McMahon's comments.
No,
would we say that maybe
nothing in the community tab?
Yeah, I was gonna say, would maybe something have happened where Ed maybe drunkenly or like in a fit of rage had taken it down, just like unassumingly and irresponsibly was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna get rid of everything, I'm gonna go scorched earth. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's here, so it is up and running now. So, oh well. We will get, as we get more information, we'll share with you guys, hopefully either on the Friday show or next week's Max's Man Cave. Hopefully by that time we either have more information or it's like completely gone and we don't have to worry about it, because some of that stuff can get kind of dark. But other than that, I want to share one last time our boys crowdfunder on Kickstarter for Pray for the Sinner issue number 6, and you can get all 6 here on this campaign as well. So go check this out from Dolan. You were writing on this project with some beautiful artwork by some really talented artists, and yeah, go back at
we just crossed 17K during the live stream. Dietrich Smith on the interior art.
Ooh.
And yeah, he's doing a great job. Beautiful cover artists. Don't want to miss out. This is the final chapter to Pray for the Sinner, until maybe in the future, very, very near future, maybe something with Sin will be coming out. We'll see.
Nice. Well, yeah, you got plenty of projects that you were working on, my man. So it's glad to see so much of what you're doing getting published now. So
yeah, finally, it's like finally they're all starting to come out now.
Yeah.
Like,
you can finally start talking about them.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes, drive me nuts.
NDA. I know, finally. Well, you guys got anything else before we say good evening and goodbye, sayonara for the night?
Just that, I love you guys.
I love you guys. Well, thank you.
I have such a blast doing this. I don't care if anybody's watching.
Well, thankfully, we actually had a great turnout tonight. So, yeah, thank you all in the chat. Thank you for all the lurkers that came out tonight. Thank you to everyone who comments and hangs out with us. We appreciate the views, and like I said, all the super chats, all the memberships, all the views, all that monetization goes right back into the show, or it pays for Josh's 2-piece and a biscuit to get him on every Sunday. So we appreciate him getting on here. But yeah, so we will call it a night. Thank you guys for hanging with us. There was a ton of topics that we kind of tried to roll through as quickly as possible. But let us know if there's anything else you'd like us to cover, and or if you have any thoughts about the kind of crowdfunding or the movies or any of the topics that we discussed. Would love to hear y'all's thoughts. But other than that, enjoy your Palm Sunday. And if we don't see you guys next Sunday for Easter Sunday, maybe we can do something on Saturday. We'll figure something out. But if we don't see you, have a beautiful Easter Sunday. He is risen. Reject modernity and embrace your legacy. And we will see you guys soon. Thanks again.